The ancients did not say you attract what you want. They said you attract what you are, and in that there is a universe of difference. This is a truth not of the mind, but of the soul, a law written not in books, but in the very fabric of existence. You feel it, don't you? That subtle friction between the life you are living and the one that whispers to you in the quietest moments. It is a dissonance, a quiet hum of anxiety beneath the surface of the everyday, a sense that you are playing a role you never auditioned for. The world has become a cacophony of opinions, a relentless stream of what you should be, what you should want, what you should fear. It is a noise so loud that it has drowned out the only voice that has ever truly mattered. The voice of you. This journey we are about to take together is not about adding more. It is not about learning a new secret or a new technique to finally get it right. It is an unlearning, a remembering. It is an excavation, a gentle clearing away of the debris that has gathered upon the surface of your own profound wisdom. You have come here not because you are broken, but because a part of you remembers what it feels like to be whole, and it is calling you home. The answers you seek are not out there, in another book, another teacher, another promise of a better tomorrow. They have always been here, within you, waiting patiently in the stillness beneath the storm of thought. We will not be fighting the mind. We will simply be stepping out of its way. We will be learning to listen not to the echo chamber of our conditioning, but to the silent, intelligent presence that has been watching and waiting your entire life. This is an invitation to close the door to the endless noise of the world for a while, and to open a different door, a door that leads inward, to the only place where true peace, true power, and true purpose can ever be found. So, take a breath. You are not here by accident. This message has found you for a reason. Let us begin the journey of remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. There is a voice in your head. It is there when you wake, and it is there when you try to sleep. It narrates your life, often without your permission. It comments, it judges, it worries, it remembers, it plans. It is the most intimate companion you have ever known, and yet you did not choose it. Have you ever stopped to truly listen to it? Not just to believe its stories, but to listen to the quality of the voice itself, the texture of its presence. If you do, you might notice something astonishing. It is not one voice, but many. It is a chorus of ghosts. It is your mother's caution, your father's disappointment, a teacher's critique from decades ago, the sting of a lover's careless words, the hollow promise of an advertisement. It is the collective anxiety of the culture you live in, all downloaded, compiled, and replayed on an endless loop inside the sacred chamber of your skull. This is the echo chamber of the mind. Imagine your consciousness as a pristine, quiet room. In the beginning, it was empty, vast, and silent, but over time, speakers were installed in every corner. Each time a strong emotional event occurred, each time a powerful belief was handed to you, a new speaker was wired in. Now, any thought that enters is not just heard once. It is caught in a system of amplification and reverberation. A small worry about a future event enters the room, and suddenly it is booming from every speaker, echoing off every wall until the worry is no longer a small thought, but a deafening reality that fills the entire space. A memory of a past failure is triggered, and the speakers blast the frequency of shame and regret again and again, reinforcing the narrative that you are defined by your mistakes. The chamber creates its own weather system. It can feel sunny and clear one moment, and then a single thought can trigger a hurricane of anxiety or a dense fog of depression that seems to have no origin and no end. The purpose of this chamber, in its origin, was survival. It was meant to be a simulator, a place to replay past dangers to avoid future ones. But it has become a prison whose walls are built of your own unexamined thoughts. You have lived inside this echo chamber for so long that you have come to believe you are the chamber. You believe the echoes are your own voice. You believe the manufactured storms are your true climate. When the voice of fear speaks, you say, "I am afraid." When the voice of judgment speaks, you say, "I am not good enough." You have fused your identity, your precious sense of I, with the noise. But you are not the noise. You are not the echo. You are the silence the echo happens in. The great error, the fundamental mistake that causes so much suffering, is to try and fight the echoes. You cannot win an argument with an echo. To shout back at the speakers only adds more sound to the chamber, giving the echoes more energy to feed on. If you argue with the voice of anxiety, telling it not to worry, you are simply creating a new layer of sound, the sound of resistance. If you try to suppress a painful memory, you are pushing it down with force, and that force itself becomes a violent echo. The path to freedom is not through battle, but through observation. It is not through shouting, but through listening with a new kind of ear. The way out is to find the power switch, and the power switch is your awareness. Let us try, just for a moment. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Listen to the voice in your head, right now. Do not judge it. Do not try to change it. Simply notice it. What is its current story? Is it commenting on these words? Is it wondering what is for lunch? Is it replaying a conversation from yesterday? Just listen. Notice the tone. Is it rushed? Is it critical? Is it tired? See if you can perceive it not as the truth, but simply as a phenomenon, a pattern of energy passing through your awareness, like a cloud passing through the sky. When you do this, something miraculous happens. A space is created. In the moment you say to yourself, "Ah, there is the voice of worry." You are no longer the one who is worrying. You have become the one who is noticing the worry. In that noticing, there is a subtle shift. You have moved from being the actor in the drama to being the audience. You have taken your hand off the volume dial. You have found the power switch. This voice is nothing more than an old recording, a deeply grooved vinyl record, playing the same tracks over and over. The track of not being good enough, the track of what if something goes wrong, the track of you should have done better. It is not malicious. It is a machine, a program designed to keep you safe within the known boundaries of your past experience. It is a ghost in the machine, and its only power is the power you give it by believing it is you. When you cease to believe, when you begin to simply observe, the ghost begins to fade. The echoes lose their power when there is no one there to be frightened by them. They become transparent, like apparitions in the daylight. You can see them, you can hear their faint whispers, but they no longer have the substance to move you, to define you, to imprison you. This is the very first step of the journey home. The recognition that your mind is a tool, not your identity. It is a broadcaster, but you can choose which station to tune into, or you can choose to simply enjoy the silence. Spend time in this recognition. Practice it throughout your day. When you are walking, notice the voice that is narrating the walk. When you are working, notice the voice that is judging your performance. When you are speaking with another, notice the voice that is planning what to say next instead of truly listening. Do not fight it. Do not condemn it. Just notice. Greet it with a quiet, neutral awareness. I see you, thought. I hear you, echo. This simple act of detached recognition is the most powerful act of rebellion against the tyranny of the unobserved mind. It is the beginning of your liberation, because once you have truly recognized that the voice in your head is not you, a most profound and natural question begins to form in the newfound silence. If I am not that voice, then who or what am I? The answer is not found within the noise of more thinking. It is found in the silent, conscious space that holds the thought. You ask the question, if I am not the voice, then who am I? The answer is simpler and more profound than the mind can ever comprehend. You are the silence that heard the question. You are the stillness in which the voice arose. For your entire life, you have been captivated by the movie playing on the screen, identifying with the hero, the victim, the villain, lost in the drama of the plot. You have completely forgotten that you are not the movie. You are the screen itself, You are the vast, empty, luminous space upon which all images of life appear and disappear. This space is your true nature. We can call it the watcher, the silent observer, or pure awareness. The name does not matter. What matters is the experiential recognition of it as your very self. Think of it this way. Your thoughts, emotions, and sensations are like clouds in the sky. They are constantly changing form. Some are dark and heavy with rain, others are bright, white, and wispy. They drift in, they linger for a time, and they drift away. You have been taught to believe that you are one of these clouds, a fragile formation at the mercy of the winds of circumstance, destined to be scattered and dissolved. On a day of dark, stormy clouds, you say, "I am depressed." On a day of clear skies, you say, "I am happy." You have mistaken the weather for the sky, but you are not the clouds. You are the sky. You are the vast, limitless, unchanging blue that holds all the clouds, that allows them to be exactly as they are, that is never, ever harmed or stained by even the most violent storm. The sky does not cling to the beautiful clouds, nor does it resist the dark ones. It simply allows them all to pass. This is your nature. Let us go deeper with this. Imagine yourself for a moment, not at the turbulent surface of the ocean, where the waves of daily life crash and churn with ceaseless energy. Instead, allow yourself to sink. Down, down, past the frantic activity, down into the deep. The light from the surface begins to soften, the sounds become muffled, the pressure builds, but it is a steady, reassuring pressure, like a firm embrace. Here, at the bottom of the ocean of your own consciousness, there is a profound stillness. It is silent. From this vantage point, you can look up and see the life of the ocean teeming above you. You see schools of fish darting by. These are your thoughts, quick, fleeting, sometimes moving in unison, sometimes chaotically. You feel the slow, powerful movement of the currents. These are your emotions, tides of joy, currents of sadness, undertows of fear, pulling and pushing the water. You see the shimmering light and shadows from the world above. These are your sensory perceptions. For your entire life, you have been swimming frantically amongst them, believing you were one of the fish, tossed about by the currents, blinded by the light. But from here, from the deep, silent ground of your being, you can see with perfect clarity that you are not any of these things. You are not the thought fish. You are not the emotion current. You are the ocean itself. You are the vast, intelligent, conscious water that provides the space for all of these things to happen. The ocean is not afraid of the shark that swims through it. The ocean is not diminished by the sadness current that moves within it. It contains everything, yet remains only itself. This is your power. This is your peace. You are the container, not the contained. To realize this experientially is the great work of awakening. It is the practice of disidentification. It begins with a simple yet radical shift in your internal language. When a familiar spiral of worry begins, instead of being swept away by its narrative, you can pause and label it internally with a gentle, detached curiosity. Ah, this is thinking. You are not judging it. You are not pushing it away. You are simply naming it for what it is, a mental process. When a wave of anger or grief rises in your chest, instead of saying, "I am angry," you can experiment with a more accurate statement. The energy of anger is moving through me. Can you feel the difference? One statement is an identity, a prison. The other is an observation, a process. You are the space in which the energy is moving. You can do the same with your physical body. You have been taught to say, "I am in pain." But is that the complete truth? Or is it more accurate to say, "There is a sensation of pain being perceived in my awareness"? You are the awareness that is aware of the pain, just as you are the awareness that is aware of the tingling in your fingers or the feeling of the air on your skin. The body and its sensations are objects appearing in you, the subject. They are not what you are. They are what you are experiencing. Let us do a small practice of this right now. You do not need to move. Simply bring your attention to your breath. Feel the physical sensation of the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs. Feel the gentle release as the air leaves your body. Do not try to control it. Just observe it. The breath is breathing itself. Now, pay very close attention to the pause at the end of your exhalation. There is a tiny gap, a moment of perfect stillness before the body takes its next breath. In that gap, for just a fraction of a second, the chattering mind often falls silent. In that space between breaths, what is there? There is only a silent, alert presence. That is you. That is the watcher. It is the doorway, always available to you. You can find it elsewhere too. Watch your thoughts as if you were sitting on the bank of a river, watching leaves float by. One leaf is a thought about work. The next is a memory. The next is a judgment. Do not jump into the river to grab them. Just watch them float past. Sooner or later you will notice it. A space between two leaves. A gap. Again, that space is not empty. It is pregnant with presence. It is full of you, the silent, unmoving consciousness. Abiding as this consciousness is the beginning and the end of all spiritual practice. It may only last for a second at first. The mind, like a spoiled child, will rush in to fill the silence. That is okay. Do not fight it. The goal is not to achieve some permanent state of blankness. The goal is to repeatedly, gently, and lovingly return to the seat of the watcher. Each time you notice a thought and choose not to follow it, each time you feel an emotion and allow it to be there without becoming it, you are strengthening this muscle of awareness. You are moving your sense of self from the ephemeral cloud to the eternal sky. This is the great liberation. It is the discovery that your center of gravity is not in the turbulent world of thought and form, but in the deep, silent field of awareness. You find that you are untouchable, but from this newfound vantage point, this silent throne of the self, what does the watcher see? It sees the very machine it just stepped out of. It observes, with no judgment, the intricate, complex, and often frightened structure that it had previously been identified with. A structure built of memories, beliefs, fears, and identities designed for survival in the world. This structure is known as the ego, and understanding its architecture is the next step in our journey. From the silent, spacious vantage point of the watcher, you now perceive the intricate structure you once called I. You see a whirlwind of thoughts, beliefs, memories, and roles, all clinging to each other to form a cohesive yet fragile sense of self. This structure is the ego. And the first and most crucial thing to understand is that the ego is not your enemy. It is not some malicious entity to be fought, defeated, and vanquished. To declare war on your ego is to declare war on yourself, for it is a part of your human experience. It is a brilliant, intricate survival mechanism, a psychological suit of armor you began crafting the moment you were born. It is the costume you wear to navigate the complex stage of human society. The problem is not the costume. The problem arises when you forget that you are wearing one, and come to believe that the costume is you. Imagine the ego as a house. When you were born, as pure awareness, you were boundless, living under the open sky. But the world felt vast and sometimes harsh. So, you began to build. The foundation of this house was the first and most fundamental illusion, the belief in separation. The idea that I am this entity inside the body, and the entire universe is out there, separate from me. Upon this foundation, you began to lay bricks. Each brick was a label, a concept to define the me and distinguish it from the not me. The first bricks were your name, your gender, the color of your skin. Then came more, your family role, son, daughter, sister, then your nationality, then your profession. The house began to take shape. You built walls with the bricks of your beliefs. These are the rules you learned about the world, the rigid ideas about what is right and wrong, good and bad, possible and impossible. These walls provided structure and a sense of safety. Inside them, you knew how to behave, to receive love and avoid pain. You hung portraits on these walls, memories of your greatest triumphs and your deepest wounds. The ego constantly looks at these portraits to remind itself who it is. I am the one who won that award. I am the one who was abandoned. These memories became the defining features of your inner landscape. You furnished the house with your possessions. The ego learned to extend its sense of self to things. My car, my home, my money. It believes that the more it has, the more it is. It clings to these objects as extensions of its own being, and feels a sense of diminishment or panic when they are threatened. You installed doors and windows but fitted them with heavy locks and iron bars. These locks are your fears. The fear of judgment, the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, the fear of not being enough. These defenses were designed to keep perceived dangers out, but in doing so, they have turned the house into a prison, preventing the true inhabitant you, the watcher, from ever stepping outside to experience the fresh air of reality as it is. The ego's primary mode of operation within this house is comparison. It is constantly peering out the windows, comparing its house to the houses of others. Is their house bigger? Are their walls stronger? Are their portraits more impressive? This endless comparison is the source of all jealousy, envy, pride, and insecurity. It can never be at peace, because its sense of worth is entirely relative, dependent on being better than, more than, or at least equal to, those around it. It lives in a perpetual state of hunger. It is never satisfied. The house is never quite finished, never quite secure enough. It needs a new room of achievements, a new furnishing of possessions, a new layer of belief to feel safe, to feel whole. But it is a hunger that can never be sated, because it is seeking wholeness in form, in things, in concepts, when wholeness is your very nature, formless and unadorned. This egoic structure is terrified of the present moment. The now is its enemy. Why? Because in the pure, simple presence of this moment, there is no past and no future. There are no stories. And the ego is nothing but a story. It is the story of me. Without its past to define it and its future to strive for, it begins to dissolve. So it pulls you constantly out of the now. It drags you back into the portrait gallery of regret and nostalgia, or it pushes you forward into the blueprint rooms of anxiety and desire. It cannot allow you to simply be here, now, for in the stillness of being, its frantic activity is exposed as unnecessary noise. From your new position as the watcher, you see this house not as a solid, permanent fortress, but as a shimmering, transparent construction of thought. You see the walls are not made of stone, but of long-held opinions. You see the locks are not made of iron, but of fear. You see the entire structure is held together only by the glue of your belief in it. And this is where your freedom lies. You do not have to take a sledgehammer to the walls. In fact, to do so would be another act of the ego, an act of violent resistance. Instead, you simply shine the light of your awareness upon it. The light of your non-judgmental attention is the universal solvent. You look at a wall of belief, the one that says, "I am not creative," and you simply see it. You do not argue with it. You just hold it in your awareness. You bring the light of your presence to it. And under that gentle, loving gaze, the brick of belief begins to lose its solidity. It becomes transparent. You look at a locked door, the fear of being rejected, and you do not try to break it down. You simply sit with the fear. You feel the energy of it in your body without believing the story it tells you, and you find that the lock begins to melt. This is the path of compassionate self-inquiry. It is the invitation to step outside the house, not to abandon it forever, but to realize you are not confined to it. You can step out onto the porch. You can breathe the air of the present moment. You can feel the sun of reality on your skin without the filter of your beliefs. You might find that the world is not as dangerous as the house told you it was. You might find that you, as the open sky of awareness, need no protection. The house can then become what it was always meant to be, not a prison, but a functional shelter, a tool shed. You can go into it when you need to use a tool, your professional identity when you go to work, your family role when you are with your loved ones, but you no longer live there. You no longer mistake its claustrophobic confines for the totality of your being. Your true home is the boundless space of consciousness itself. As you, the watcher, continue to observe this architecture with gentle detachment, you begin to notice the quality of the materials used in its construction. You see that certain bricks are heavier, denser, and more foundational than others. And when you look closely at the mortar holding all these bricks together, the substance that gives the entire structure its weight and seeming permanence, you find it is made of a thick, heavy compound. It is one of the strongest materials the ego uses to build its fortress and reinforce its walls. It is the unwavering, relentless attachment to the past. The house of the ego stands upon the foundation of separation, and its walls are held together by the heavy mortar of the past. Let us speak of this past. Where is it, right now? Can you hold it in your hand? Can you point to it in the room? You cannot. The past does not exist. It is a ghost, a phantom realm that lives only as a collection of memory traces in your mind, thoughts infused with the energy of old emotions. Yet, this phantom realm is where the ego chooses to live. It is a ghost town, and the ego is its sole, lonely inhabitant, endlessly wandering the same dusty streets, rereading the same fading signs, reliving the same bygone dramas. The ego derives its entire identity from this place. It is the curator of its own museum of personal history. It tells you, I am the sum of my experiences. And so, to the ego, letting go of the past feels like a kind of death. It is an annihilation of its very story, and that is why it clings. That is why it forces you to carry it. Imagine your life not as a static house, but as a journey, a path you are walking. When you began, you carried nothing. Your step was light, but along the way, things happened. You were hurt, misunderstood, betrayed, you experienced failure and loss, and with each painful event, you stopped, picked up a stone, and placed it into a backpack that you carry. The first stone was a criticism from a parent, just a pebble, but sharp. The next was a rejection from a friend, a heavier stone that bruised you. Then came a great failure, a heavy, jagged rock that tore the fabric of the pack. A profound loss was a boulder that required all your strength to lift. Now, look at yourself on the path today. After years, decades of this collecting, how heavy is your backpack? Feel the straps cutting into your shoulders. Feel the strain in your spine, the ache in your muscles. Your head is bowed low from the weight, your gaze fixed on the ground just in front of you, unable to see the beauty of the landscape around you, unable to see the horizon ahead. This backpack of yesterday is not just a dead weight. It is a filter that colors your entire perception of the present. You meet a new person, but you see them through the dusty lens of old betrayals, expecting them to add another stone to your burden. You face a new opportunity, but you are paralyzed by the memory of the rocks of past failures, convinced you will only stumble again. The weight makes you tired, cynical, and slow. You believe this burden is your fate, the price of living. But here is the secret that can change everything. No one is forcing you to carry it. You are the one whose hands are clenched around the straps. It is a choice you are making in every moment, a habit so deeply ingrained that you have forgotten it is a habit at all. You have forgotten that you possess the power to simply set it down. This act of setting it down is called forgiveness. And it is perhaps the most profoundly misunderstood and most profoundly selfish act a human being can perform. We have been taught that forgiveness is a moral gift we bestow upon someone who has wronged us, a noble gesture of pardon. This is a debilitating lie. Forgiveness has almost nothing to do with the other person. It is not about condoning their behavior. It is not about saying, "What you did was okay." It is not about forgetting the lesson the pain taught you. Forgiveness is the deeply personal, deeply liberating act of removing the stone from your own backpack. It is the choice to stop carrying the weight of someone else's mistake. It is you finally giving yourself permission to be free. To hold on to resentment, to refuse to forgive, is to willingly drink a vial of poison every single day and hope that the other person gets sick, but the only one being poisoned is you. The bitterness, the anger, the endless replaying of the story of how you were wronged, these are corrosive energies. They are low-frequency vibrations that keep your own heart in a cage and your own spirit in chains. They drain your life force, which could be used for creating, for loving, for experiencing the joy of this moment, and divert it into the black hole of a past that cannot be changed. Holding a grievance is like grasping a burning coal with the intent of one day throwing it at your enemy. But in all the time you are holding it, waiting for the right moment, the only hands being seared are your own. So let us try an experiment. Right here, on the path, in your imagination, feel the immense, familiar weight of your backpack. Acknowledge its presence. Now, very slowly, very gently, allow your fingers to loosen their grip on the straps. Slip the pack from your shoulders. Let it fall to the ground behind you with a heavy, satisfying thud. The relief is immediate. Your shoulders feel light. You can stand up straight for the first time in years. Now, turn around and open the pack. Do not be afraid. Look inside at the collection of stones. Reach in and take one. Feel its cold, heavy reality in your hand. See the memory it represents, not as a drama to be relived, but as a simple fact. Acknowledge the pain it caused. And then, say to it, silently or aloud, I have carried you long enough. The lesson is learned. I now release you. And then, simply open your hand and let it drop to the earth. Do this with another stone, and another. You do not have to do it all at once. Just begin. Connect this release to your breath. With every long, slow exhalation, imagine you are breathing out the dust of yesterday. The grievances, the regrets, the stories. Feel it leaving your body, dissolving into the air. With every deep, full inhalation, breathe in the crisp, clean, potent air of this present moment. This is the only moment that has ever existed. It is pure, it is new, it is uncontaminated. The past has no power here, unless you choose to bring it with you. Your mind, the ego, will protest. It will tell you, but they don't deserve my forgiveness. It is not for them, it is for you. You deserve to be free. The mind will say, but if I forgive, I am letting them get away with it. Their actions have their own karmic consequences. Your forgiveness does not alter that. It simply unhooks your energy field from theirs, setting you both free from the toxic bond. The mind will whisper, but if I forget, it will happen again. Forgiveness is not amnesia. It is wisdom. It is remembering the lesson, but releasing the emotional charge. The scar tissue remains as a reminder of your own resilience, but the wound is no longer open and bleeding on every new experience. And so you stand, upright and free, having laid down the crushing weight of yesterday. The air feels lighter, the path ahead looks clearer. You are no longer defined by the stones you once carried. You are defined only by the presence you bring to this step, and this one, and this one. But the ego is clever. If it cannot pull you backward into the graveyard of regret, it will try another tactic. It will hurl you forward into a phantom world, a shimmering mirage on the horizon. Just as the past is an illusion that anchors us in what has been, so too is the future, an illusion woven from a single restless material, anxiety. Having released the heavy anchor of the past, you might feel a moment of exhilarating lightness. But the ego, the master of survival, has another strategy. If it cannot chain you to regret, it will lure you into the shimmering, deceptive desert of the future. It projects a mirage on the horizon, 1,000 possible tomorrows, most of them filled with peril. This is the realm of anxiety, the land of what if. And just like the past, this future does not exist. It is a fabrication, a mental projection. Worry is the process of using your divine faculty of imagination to meticulously build and furnish a hell you do not wish to live in, and then moving into it before your lease is even signed. It is a form of negative prayer, a ritual of rehearsing for a disaster that may never come. Let us be very clear. There is a vast difference between practical planning and neurotic worrying. Planning is a constructive activity done in the present moment. You assess a situation, you identify the next logical step, and you take it. The energy is calm, focused, and creative. Worrying is a destructive cycle that takes place entirely in the mind, detached from the present. It is the agitated, repetitive, and fruitless churning of negative possibilities. It is not problem-solving, it is problem creation. It is the mind spinning its wheels in the sand, generating immense heat and noise, but moving you not 1 inch forward. In fact, it moves you backward, draining you of the very energy you would need to actually handle a challenge if it were to arise. There is a powerful metaphor for this. Worrying is like choosing to pay interest on a debt you have not yet incurred. Imagine someone going to a bank and saying, "I might, possibly, someday take out a loan. I'm not sure. But just in case, I'd like to start making interest payments today." The banker would think them insane. Yet, we do this every single day. The potential negative outcome, the worst-case scenarios, the hypothetical debt. And you pay the interest on it, not with money, but with your most vital and non-refundable currencies. You pay with your peace of mind, sacrificing the tranquility of this moment for the turmoil of an imaginary one. You pay with your life force, pouring your precious mental and emotional energy into a black hole of fantasy. You pay with your physical health, as the body, unable to distinguish between a real threat and an imagined one, floods itself with the corrosive stress hormones of cortisol and adrenaline. You pay with your joy, overlooking the simple beauty and grace of the now because your attention is fixated on a dreadful mirage. It is the most absurd transaction imaginable. You are trading the solid gold of your present reality for the counterfeit currency of a fearful fantasy. Why does the mind engage in this self-sabotage? The ego's motivation can be summarized in one word: control. The future is, by its very nature, uncertain and uncontrollable. This uncertainty is an existential threat to the ego, which craves security, predictability, and a defined path. The ego believes it is a small, fragile thing in a vast, chaotic universe, and its only hope is to outthink reality. Worry creates the powerful illusion of control. By mentally running through every possible pitfall and catastrophe, the ego feels as though it is doing something, that it is on guard, that it is preparing for battle. It whispers to you, "If I suffer a little bit now by worrying, maybe I won't have to suffer so much later." This is a profound superstition. It is the belief that by offering up your present peace as a sacrifice to the gods of tomorrow, you can somehow appease them and ward off misfortune. It does not work. All it does is guarantee that you suffer twice, once in your imagination, and then again if the event actually occurs. And statistics of the mind show that the vast majority of things we worry about never come to pass. The antidote to this pervasive anxiety is not a better plan or a more fortified defense. The antidote is trust. This is not a naive or passive hope that things will always be pleasant. It is a deep, intelligent, and mature surrender to the flow of life itself. It is the recognition that there is an intelligence at work in the universe that is infinitely more vast and complex than your thinking mind. It is a trust that this intelligence, which orchestrates the unfurling of galaxies and the blooming of a single flower, is also orchestrating your life. It is the wisdom to know what is yours to control and what is not. You can control your response. You can control your attitude. You can control the intention you bring to this moment. You cannot control the outcome. You cannot control other people. You cannot control the infinite variables of life. Trust is the act of letting go of the oars and allowing the river to carry you, secure in the knowledge that the river knows the way to the ocean. This trust also extends to yourself. It is a trust in your own resilience. The anxious mind believes you are fragile, that you do not have what it takes to handle future challenges. It demands that you pre-solve every potential problem right now, but you do not need the strength for next week's imaginary crisis today. You only ever need enough strength and resources for the moment you are actually in. And if you look closely at this moment, right now, are you okay? In this precise second, as you listen to these words, are you breathing? Are you safe? In 99.9% of your moments, the answer is yes. Trust that when a future moment arrives, the resources you need for that moment will arrive with it. Strength is not a stockpile you build up by worrying. It is a fountain that springs forth in the moment it is needed. You can practice breaking the hypnotic spell of worry. The mind loves to play the what-if game, always with a negative slant. You can consciously choose to play it differently. When the mind offers, "What if I fail the presentation?" you can consciously counter, "What if I connect with the audience in a powerful way? What if my message is exactly what someone needs to hear?" When the mind suggests, "What if my health fails?" you can respond, "What if I cultivate vibrant energy and well-being? What if my body demonstrates its incredible capacity for healing?" This is not about delusion. It is about reclaiming your imagination. It is a declaration that the future is unwritten potential, and you will no longer allow the ego to use your creative power exclusively for the production of horror films. So we see the twin prisons of psychological time, built by the ego to keep you from the liberating power of the now. The past is a cage forged from the iron bars of regret and grievance. The future is a cage built from the phantom smoke of anxiety and fear. One pulls you back, the other pushes you forward, and both ensure you miss the only thing that is ever real, your life, which is always, and only ever, happening now. To escape the chains of yesterday's regrets and the mirage of tomorrow's fears, there is only one sanctuary, only one place of true power and profound peace, only one reality. It is the infinite, eternal, and ever-present moment of now. We have walked through the ghost town of the past and stood at the edge of the desert of the future. We have seen that the past is a prison of regret and the future is a cage of anxiety. Both are phantom realms, constructed by the mind to keep you from the one place of infinite power, the only place where your life is actually happening. This place is not a destination. It is not something you need to achieve or earn. It is your origin, your home, and the very ground of your being. It is the eternal, ever-present moment of now. To the thinking mind, this sounds either too simple to be of any value or too abstract to be of any use. The mind is always looking for a complex answer, a future goal. It will ask, "Yes, but how does being in the now solve my problems? How does it help me get what I want?" This is the wrong question. It is like a sunbeam asking how it can become more like the sun. You are already that which you seek. The now is not a tool to get something else. The now is the destination. It is the answer. It is the treasure. All you have ever truly experienced in the entirety of your existence has been the now. Think about it. When you were remembering the past, where were you doing it? Here, in the now. When you were worrying about the future, where did that happen? Here, in the now. The past was once a now. The future will, if it arrives, arrive as a now. You have never, not for a single second, escaped the present moment. You cannot. It is the very container of all reality. Your only choice is whether you are here for it consciously, or whether you are lost in a dream of what was or what might be, thereby missing the only thing that is real. The mind, the ego, puts up a ferocious resistance to this realization. Why? Because the ego, the structure of me and my story, is made of time. It is a product of the past, and is perpetually seeking fulfillment in the future. In the timeless, formless, silent presence of the now, the ego has no reference points. It has no problems to solve, no identity to uphold. It begins to dissolve, and to the ego, that feels like death. This is why the mind will generate an endless stream of distractions, worries, and thoughts to keep you from falling into the silent, ego-dissolving abyss of the present moment. But that abyss is not an emptiness to be feared. It is a fullness to be embraced. It is the womb of all creation. Every spiritual tradition, at its core, points to this one truth. All power, all creativity, all intuition, all peace, flows not from thinking, but from a state of deep presence. When a great artist creates a masterpiece, they are not thinking, "Now I will apply the paint here and here." They enter a state of flow, a state of intense presence, where the art creates itself through them. When a brilliant insight or solution to a problem appears out of nowhere, it comes not when you are frantically thinking, but often in a moment of relaxation, in the shower or on a walk, when the mind has become quiet. In that quiet space, a higher intelligence can finally get a word in. This intelligence speaks only in the language of the now. It cannot reach you when you are lost in the static of psychological time. The now is the portal, the access point to the vertical dimension of being, which cuts through the horizontal, time-bound dimension of doing and having. Let us return to the metaphor of life as a river. The water that flows past you is forever new. You cannot step in the same river twice. This is the nature of the now. It is always fresh, always virgin, always unprecedented. To be attached to the past is to desperately try and swim upstream against the entire current of life. It is an act of utter futility and exhaustion. You fight and struggle, getting battered against the same rocks of old memories, swallowing the same bitter water of old grievances, all while the river of life continues to flow on without you. To be lost in the future is to stand on the bank, anxiously staring at a bend in the river downstream, trying to guess what lies around it. You imagine terrifying waterfalls, hidden monsters, dangerous rapids. And in this state of fearful projection, you completely miss the beauty of the river where you are right now, the sunlight dancing on the water, the gentle reeds swaying in the breeze, the solid ground beneath your feet. To be present is to let go of the struggle. It is to gently place yourself in the river and allow its current to carry you. This is not a passive resignation. It is an intelligent and joyful cooperation with the flow of life. You still have to navigate. You still have to steer around obstacles as they appear, right in front of you. But you are no longer trying to provide the momentum. You are no longer fighting the river. You are dancing with it. You are one with its power and its intelligence. Life begins to live through you, rather than being something that happens to you. Here we must make a vital distinction. The difference between your life and your life situation. Your life is now. It is the simple, sacred presence of this moment. It is your breath, the feeling of aliveness in your body, the sounds you are hearing. Your life situation is a mind construct. It is the collection of thoughts, stories, and labels that make up your personal history and your projected future. It includes your finances, your relationships, your career, your health issues, what the ego calls my problems. Most human beings are so utterly engrossed in their life situation that they completely forget their life. They are so lost in the drama of the story of me that they miss the simple, profound miracle of being alive right now. Your life situation exists in time. Your life is timeless. And realizing this is the key to freedom. You can have a life situation that is challenging, but you can still find peace and stillness in your life, in the deep inner dimension of the now. So how do we practice this? How do we withdraw our attention from the seductive noise of the mind and anchor it in the silent gravity of the now? We do not need to go anywhere or achieve a special state. We simply use the gateways that are already available to us in every moment. These are the anchors to the present. The first and most powerful anchor is your own inner body. Your thoughts are almost always about the past or future. Your body, however, exists only in the now. You cannot feel your body yesterday. You can only feel it now. So, the practice is to consciously bring your attention inside. Let's try it. Bring your awareness to your hands. You don't need to look at them. Just feel them from the inside. Can you feel a subtle aliveness, a tingling, a vibrancy in your palms and fingers? It may be very faint at first, but it is there. That is the feeling of your life energy. Stay with that sensation. Let it be your anchor. Now expand that awareness. Feel the aliveness in your arms, in your shoulders, in your chest. Feel your heartbeat, a steady rhythm in the now. Feel the energy in your legs, your feet, the sensation of them touching the ground. Gradually, see if you can feel your entire inner body as a single unified field of vibrant, living energy. When you are rooted in the inner body, your attention is drawn out of the abstract world of thought and firmly planted in the living reality of the present. The mind may still chatter, but it will be happening at the periphery of your awareness. Your center of gravity will have shifted, from the head to the body, from thinking to being. This is a practice you can do anywhere, anytime. Standing in a line, sitting in a meeting, walking down the street. It is your secret, silent portal to peace. The second anchor is your breath. Like the body, the breath is always in the now. You cannot take a breath in the future or in the past. Each breath is a gift of the present moment. The practice is simply to observe it. Feel the air as it enters your body, a cool stream of life. Follow it as it fills your lungs. Notice the brief pause at the peak of the inhalation. Then follow the breath as it is released, a warm current of surrender. Do not try to control it. Simply be the silent witness of its natural rhythmic dance. The breath is the bridge between the visible world and the invisible, the link between your body and your spirit. To be consciously with the breath is to be consciously here, now. The third anchor is to use your senses as a gateway. The mind complicates, judges, and labels. The senses simply receive the raw data of the present moment without interpretation. You can practice this with any sense. Try listening. For a moment, just listen to the soundscape around you as if you were a microphone. Do not label the sounds that's a car, that's a bird. Instead, listen to the pure quality of the sound, its pitch, its timbre, its texture. Notice the silence that underlies all the sounds, the canvas upon which they are painted. Or try seeing. Pick any object in your field of vision, a flower, a pen, a crack in the wall. Look at it as if you have never seen it before, as if you have just arrived on this planet from a distant galaxy. Let go of the mental label flower and just absorb its color, its shape, its intricate design. In that moment of pure seeing, the chattering mind falls silent. You are simply present in a state of alert, spacious stillness. You can do the same with touch. Feel the texture of your clothing against your skin. Feel the solid reality of the chair supporting you, the ground beneath your feet. These are not trivial exercises. They are powerful practices of reclamation, reclaiming your attention from the clutches of the egoic mind and rooting it in the fertile ground of reality. When you begin to practice living in this way, something remarkable happens. The nature of your life begins to change. You find a peace that does not depend on your life situation being perfect. It is the peace of the deep ocean, which remains undisturbed regardless of the turmoil on the surface. You find that the suffering component of your problems begins to dissolve. A problem, as the mind defines it, is a situation that you are resisting, a gap between what is and what I want. When you are fully present, you are not resisting what is. You are meeting it with spacious awareness. There is no problem in the now. There is only the situation. And in the face of any situation, there are only ever three sane choices. You can change it, you can accept it completely, or you can leave it. All three are actions of immense power, and all three can only be taken in the now. Worrying, complaining, and resisting are dysfunctional choices that keep you trapped. And as you become more firmly rooted in the silent gravity of the now, as your attention is withdrawn from the constant noise of the mind, your perception becomes extraordinarily sensitive. You begin to notice a form of communication that was always there, but was previously obscured by the static. It is a language more direct than thought, a guidance system more accurate than logic. It is the subtle, intelligent language of the body. It is the language of emotion. And learning to understand it is the next step on our journey inward. You are now anchored in the sanctuary of the now, rooted in the living reality of your body and breath. The frantic noise of the mind has begun to subside, and in this newfound quiet, your perception grows more subtle, more refined. You begin to notice a language that was always being spoken, but was previously drowned out. It is a language that precedes thought, a communication more primal and more truthful than words. It is the language of emotion. For most of your life, you have likely treated your emotions as enemies or inconvenient interruptions. You have judged them as good or bad, positive or negative. You have been taught to suppress the bad one's anger, fear, sadness, and to cling desperately to the good one's joy, love, excitement. This relationship to your emotions is a source of immense and unnecessary suffering. It is time for a radical re-understanding. Your emotions are not the problem. Your emotions are the solution. They are not a random affliction. They are an exquisitely intelligent guidance system. They are your soul's built-in compass. Imagine you are sailing a great ship across the ocean. A compass is not a moral instrument. The needle pointing north is not good, and the needle pointing south is not bad. It is simply providing you with objective, crucial information so that you can navigate effectively. Your emotions function in exactly the same way. The feelings we call positive, peace, joy, love, gratitude, are your internal compass needle pointing true north. They are a signal from your deepest self, from the universe itself, indicating that your current thoughts are in alignment with truth, with reality, with your own authentic nature. When you feel good, it is the feeling of resonance, of being in harmony with the ever-present current of well-being. Conversely, the feelings we call negative fear, anger, jealousy, despair are simply the compass needle swinging away from north. They are not a punishment. They are not a sign that you are flawed or broken. They are a merciful, benevolent alarm bell. They are an indicator light on the dashboard of your soul, flashing to let you know that you are currently believing a thought that is not true. The emotional pain you feel is not caused by the emotion itself. It is caused by the untrue thought you are attached to and your resistance to the emotional signal it is creating. The emotion is just the messenger. To hate your fear is like hating the smoke alarm for waking you when your house is on fire. Let us use another metaphor. Your true self, your essential being, is like a powerful radio station that is eternally broadcasting on a single frequency, the frequency of pure, unconditional love, peace, and well-being. This is your home frequency. It is always being transmitted. Now, your mind, with its capacity to think any thought it chooses, is the tuner on your radio. When you entertain a thought that is aligned with your home frequency, a thought of gratitude, of appreciation, of love, your radio tunes in perfectly. The signal is clear, and the sound you hear is the beautiful music of joy and peace. But when you unconsciously latch onto a thought that is dissonant with your home frequency, a thought of lack, of self-criticism, of fear, I am not enough, something terrible will happen. You have, in that moment, turned the dial away from your home station. The result is not silence. The result is static, a harsh, unpleasant, jarring noise. That static is your negative emotion. The emotion is not a sign that the radio is broken. It is not a sign that the home station has stopped broadcasting. It is simply the unavoidable sonic result of being tuned to a frequency of untruth. The emotion is a compassionate nudge saying, "You've drifted, the signal is lost. Please, turn the dial back to the frequency of truth, where the beautiful music is still playing." And so what is the skillful way to work with this compass? To use this feedback? The old way was to either suppress the static or to become possessed by it. Suppression is turning the volume down. You pretend you don't hear the static of your anger or your sadness. But the radio is still tuned to the wrong station, and the dissonant frequency is still broadcasting, silently doing damage to the inner circuitry. The energy gets trapped in your body, where it can fester and manifest as chronic anxiety, depression, or even physical illness. The other dysfunctional approach is to become the static. You identify with the anger and start yelling, blaming, and projecting that energy outward, smashing things in your inner and outer world. This is like cranking up the volume of the static and running around complaining about how terrible the noise is. It only amplifies the dissonance and reinforces the habit of tuning to that painful frequency. There is a third way, the way of the watcher. It is the path of conscious, loving allowance. When the alarm bell of a difficult emotion begins to ring, the practice is this. First, you stop. You cease all outward activity and turn your attention inward. You do not run from the feeling. You do not fight it. You do not judge it. You simply acknowledge its presence. "Ah, hello, sadness. I feel you." Second, you disidentify from it. You shift your internal language. Instead of the ego's declaration, "I am sad," you adopt the watcher's observation, "I am aware of the energy of sadness moving within me." Feel the immediate space and freedom in that shift. You are the sky, not the storm cloud. Third, you locate the emotion in your body. Where does this energy live? Is it a tightness in your throat, a hollowness in your chest, a churning knot in your stomach? The mind tells convoluted stories, but the body tells the simple, energetic truth. Bring your awareness, like a warm, gentle spotlight, directly to that physical sensation. Fourth, you breathe into it. Instead of instinctively tensing your body against the uncomfortable sensation, you consciously do the opposite. You relax around it. You soften the muscles in your jaw, your shoulders, your belly, and you breathe into the very center of the sensation. Imagine your breath carrying oxygen and spaciousness directly to that tight knot of energy. This is the heart of allowing. You are giving the trapped energy permission to be there. You are meeting it with presence instead of resistance. And when energy is met with unconditional presence, it begins to soften, to move, to transform, and to release. It has delivered its message, and now it is free to go. Finally, once the intense charge has subsided, you can listen for the message. You can gently ask, "What thought was I believing that triggered this feeling?" The emotion, your compass, will point you directly to the untrue thought form. "Ah, the feeling of jealousy is pointing to my belief in lack and comparison. The feeling of anxiety is pointing to my belief that I cannot handle the future." You see the thought for what it is, just a thought, not the truth, and you can choose to release your belief in it. This is the sacred art of emotional alchemy. It is transforming the lead of your painful feelings into the gold of self-awareness. Your emotions become your most trusted guides, your most intimate teachers. They are constantly showing you where your thinking has gone astray, where you have departed from your own truth. They are continuously inviting you back home, back to the frequency of peace that is your birthright. This inner compass, this emotional guidance system, is exquisitely sensitive. It is constantly measuring your alignment with your source energy. And what it is truly measuring moment to moment is the quality of your own energy field. It is measuring a foundational force, a frequency that not only determines how you feel, but literally shapes the reality you experience. This is the science of your personal vibration. Your emotional compass, as we have seen, is a direct and unfailing guide, constantly pointing you toward or away from your own inner truth. What it is measuring, in the silent, subtle language of feeling, is the quality of your energy. It is measuring your vibration. This may sound like a mystical concept, but it is rooted in a fundamental truth about the nature of the universe, a truth that ancient wisdom has always known and that modern physics is beginning to confirm. Everything is energy. At the most basic, subatomic level, the universe is not made of solid, separate things. It is a vast, unified field of vibrating energy. The chair you are sitting on, the air you are breathing, the body you inhabit all are simply energy fields, vibrating at different frequencies to give the illusion of solidity. And this universal law does not stop at the boundary of your skin. Your thoughts are not nothing. A thought is a measurable pulse of electrical energy. Your emotions are more powerful waves of energy that radiate from you and can be felt by others. Your entire being is a dynamic symphony of vibration. The great work of awakening is to move from being an unconscious player in this symphony, creating a discordant and chaotic noise, to becoming the conscious conductor, intentionally creating a harmony of well-being. Imagine a scale of vibration, like the notes on a musical instrument. At the lowest end of the scale, you have the dense, slow, heavy frequencies. These are the vibrations of shame, guilt, apathy, grief, and fear. Think about how these emotions feel in your body. They feel heavy. They feel contracting. When you are in a state of fear or shame, your world literally feels like it is shrinking. Your posture contracts. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your focus narrows to the perceived threat or the past mistake. Your energy field becomes dense and sticky. This is a low vibrational state. At the highest end of the scale, you have the light, fast, expansive frequencies. These are the vibrations of acceptance, gratitude, joy, love, and peace. Think about how these states feel. They feel light. They feel open. When you feel love or gratitude, your chest seems to expand. A smile naturally comes to your face. You stand taller. Your energy field feels bright, spacious, and flowing. This is a high vibrational state. Your emotional compass is the needle that tells you precisely where you are on this scale at any given moment. The feeling of bad is simply the feeling of low vibration. The feeling of good is the feeling of high vibration. This is where the principle becomes profoundly practical, for there is an immutable law of energy that governs the entire cosmos. Like attracts like. This is the law of resonance. If you strike a tuning fork of a certain frequency, another tuning fork of the same frequency across the room will begin to vibrate in sympathy. It cannot help it. It is physics. You, as a vibrational being, operate under this very same law. The dominant frequency that you hold in your being is the signal that you are constantly broadcasting out into the unified field of energy. The universe, in turn, which is also made of energy, must, by law, bring you people, circumstances, ideas, and events that resonate with the signal you are sending. This is the real science behind what is often called the law of attraction. It is not a magical trick of getting what you want. It is the inescapable physics of who you are. You are a living, breathing broadcast tower. Your dominant emotional state is your broadcast frequency. If your habitual broadcast is one of fear, lack, and victimhood, life is hard, I'm not worthy, nothing ever works out for me, you are sending out a low-frequency signal. The universe, like a cosmic radio, can only tune into your station and play you the song that matches. It will deliver experiences that confirm your belief. Challenges will feel insurmountable. People will overlook you. Opportunities will seem to pass you by. It is not a punishment. It is resonance. If, however, you learn to consciously cultivate a high-frequency broadcast tone of gratitude, trust, and appreciation, the entire broadcast changes. If your signal becomes, I am grateful for what I have, I am open to miracles, I trust the process of life, The universe must, by law, begin to deliver experiences that match that frequency. You will start to notice the good that was always there but to which you were previously blind. You will attract people who are also living in a state of openness and trust. Solutions and creative ideas will appear as if from nowhere, because you are now tuned into the frequency where they exist. Herein lies a crucial distinction that is often misunderstood. The power of your broadcast is not primarily in your thoughts, but in your feelings. The feeling is the fuel. The thought is the blueprint, but the emotion is the energetic signature that is actually sent out. You can repeat the words, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times a day, but if you walk around feeling the tight knot of lack in your stomach, if your body is contracted with the fear of scarcity, then your actual broadcast frequency is lack. The universe does not respond to the empty words you are saying. It responds to the vibrational truth you are feeling in your body. This is why positive thinking alone can often feel like a frustrating failure. The work is not to police every one of your 60,000 daily thoughts. The work is to intentionally cultivate the feeling state of the reality you wish to experience. Do you want more love? Cultivate the feeling of love within you now. Do you want more abundance? Cultivate the feeling of gratitude for the abundance you already have now. The feeling comes first. The feeling is the cause. The manifestation is the effect. This is the ultimate empowerment. Your vibrational point of attraction is not determined by your past or your external circumstances. It is determined by the choice you make in this moment about where to place your inner attention. You are not a victim of your past vibrations. You are the creator of your present one. By consciously choosing a thought that feels slightly better, by focusing on something you can appreciate right now, no matter how small, you begin to shift your frequency. As you consistently practice this, you establish a new vibrational set point, a new home frequency. The momentum of the old, negative patterns will begin to slow, and the momentum of the new, positive frequency will build, until it becomes your new, natural state of being. The understanding that you are a vibrational being, broadcasting a signal that shapes your reality, is the key to conscious creation. It moves you from being a passive victim of circumstance to being the active architect of your experience. So, the great and practical question arises: how does one intentionally and effectively change their frequency? How do you move from the dense vibration of fear to the light-filled frequency of love on command? The mechanism is both profoundly simple and supremely powerful. It lies in the deliberate management of the one currency. You have absolute and sovereign control over your attention. You are a vibrational being, living in a vibrational universe, broadcasting a signal that shapes your reality. This understanding places the keys to your life experience firmly back into your own hands. The great question then becomes a practical one. How do you consciously change your broadcast? How do you shift your frequency from the dense static of fear to the clear, harmonious signal of love and peace? The answer lies in the masterful use of the one power over which you have complete and sovereign control, the most valuable and sacred currency you will ever possess. It is not your money, your time, or your energy. It is the director of all these things. It is your attention. Consider this: a moment of your life, once spent, is gone forever. And a moment of your life is simply a moment of your attention. Where your attention goes, your life goes. We are taught to be frugal with our money, to budget and invest it wisely, yet we are astonishingly careless with our attention, a far more precious and finite resource. We allow it to be hijacked by trivialities, stolen by outraged merchants on the news, and drained by meaningless distractions. Imagine you woke up each morning with a bank account containing exactly 100 units of this sacred currency of attention. At the end of the day, if you were to look at the ledger, where would it have gone? How many units were invested in complaining about the weather or the traffic? How many were spent endlessly scrolling through the curated lives of strangers? How many were consumed by replaying old grievances or worrying about hypothetical problems? And how many were deliberately, consciously invested in creating the feeling states of joy, peace, and gratitude? For most, an honest audit would be a sobering revelation. There is a fundamental law of consciousness that is as real as the law of gravity. Energy flows where attention goes. That which you focus on expands. That which you place your awareness upon, you energize. You are literally feeding it your life force. Think of your consciousness as a magnificent, life-giving sun, and the landscape of your mind as a garden. This garden contains all manner of seeds. There are the seeds of love, creativity, abundance, and joy. There are also the seeds of fear, resentment, scarcity, and self-doubt. These are the weeds. The sunlight of your attention is the force that makes these seeds grow. Whatever you consistently shine your attention upon will germinate, take root, and eventually dominate the landscape of your reality. For most of a lifetime, we are unconscious gardeners. We allow the powerful sun of our attention to shine haphazardly. Or worse, we focus it with laser-like intensity on the weeds. We obsess over what is wrong with our lives. We magnify our flaws. We water the seeds of our anxieties daily with our focused worry. We nurture the roots of old resentments with the bitter water of repeated complaint. And then we stand back and wonder why our garden is overgrown with thorns and poison ivy, why our life feels like a barren struggle. We blame the soil, we blame the weather, we blame the other gardeners. But the power was always with the sun. The work of an awakened being is to become a conscious gardener. It is to take full responsibility for where you shine your light. It means you deliberately withdraw your attention from the weeds. You stop feeding them. This is not an act of suppression or denial. You acknowledge the weed is there, but you refuse to give it your most precious resource. You refuse to water it with your focus. Instead, you turn, with intention, and shine the full, warm, brilliant light of your attention on the seeds you do wish to grow. You focus on the single rose blooming in the corner of the garden instead of the 50 weeds surrounding it, and a miracle occurs. The rose, fed by your attention, begins to flourish, to grow stronger, to produce more blooms. The weeds, starved of your energy, begin to wither and lose their power. What you focus on expands. What you ignore contracts. This requires a radical and often ruthless reevaluation of your daily habits. It requires you to go on a strict information diet. The modern world is in the business of attention harvesting. Every notification, every breaking news alert, every algorithmically generated feed is a sophisticated attempt to hijack your currency. You must become a fierce guardian of your focus. This means consciously choosing to disengage from the endless cycles of outrage and fear peddled by the news. It means unfollowing social media accounts that make you feel inadequate or angry. It means turning off the notifications that fracture your presence into 1,000 useless pieces. It means having the courage to be uninformed about things that you can do nothing about in order to be fully informed about the state of your own inner world. This diet extends to your conversations. A complaint is a verbal form of focusing on what you do not want. To gather with others and complain together is a ritual of collective weed watering. You are all standing in a circle, focusing your combined life force on the very things you claim you wish to be rid of, making them stronger with every word. Gossip is another squandering of your creative power, focusing your divine attention on the dramas and shortcomings of another, which only serves to energize that same frequency within yourself. The conscious creator refuses to participate. They change the subject, or they walk away. Not out of judgment, but out of a profound respect for their own energy and the sacred power of their attention. When you begin this practice, when you consciously withdraw your attention from the external noise and the internal negativity, you create a vacuum. You reclaim vast stores of energy that were previously being hemorrhaged. You now have a surplus of this golden currency. And now, the joyful work begins. The conscious reinvestment. You invest your attention in the feeling of the cool breeze on your skin. You invest it in the taste of your food. You invest it in a deep and sincere appreciation for the roof over your head. You invest it in the vision of your highest self, feeling what it would feel like to embody that love, that wisdom, that courage. You are turning from the weeds and deliberately, powerfully watering the flowers. This conscious withdrawal of your attention from the endless drama of the external world is a radical act of sovereignty. It is you declaring that your inner state is more important than any outer event. It is you taking your power back from the world. When you stop giving your energy away to things that do not serve you, you create a sacred space within, an inner sanctum, a quiet, fertile, and potent field of stillness. And in the resonant quiet of this inner space, you can finally begin the most sacred work a human being can undertake. The process of conscious creation, not from a place of effort or struggle, but from the field of pure potentiality. You enter the womb of silence. You have begun the sacred work of reclaiming your attention. You have started to unplug from the external noise, to turn down the volume on the world's relentless demands for your focus. In doing so, you have created a space, a quiet clearing in the dense forest of your mind. At first, this inner silence may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. We are a culture that is terrified of silence. We treat it as an empty void to be filled at all costs, with music, with podcasts, with conversation, with the endless scroll. A pause in a conversation is deemed awkward. A moment alone without distraction is called boredom. We have come to equate silence with nothingness, and nothingness with death. But the great mystics, artists, and geniuses of history have always known a different truth. They understood that silence is not an absence. It is a presence. It is not empty. It is the fullness of all potential. It is the womb of creation. Imagine trying to grow a delicate, precious seed. Would you place it on a loud, chaotic stage under the harsh glare of spotlights, with 1,000 voices shouting directions at it? Of course not. The seed would be overwhelmed, dried out, and crushed. It would never germinate. To grow, a seed needs to be placed in the dark, moist, silent earth. It needs the quiet, the stillness, the gentle, unseen pressure of the soil. In that sacred darkness, protected from the noise of the world, the hard outer shell of the seed can finally crack open, allowing the tender green shoot of new life to emerge. Your mind, and the new consciousness wishing to be born through you, is exactly like this seed. The noisy stage is the everyday egoic mind constantly analyzing, judging, performing, and replaying old scripts. Nothing truly new can be born there. The silent earth is the inner space you cultivate when you withdraw your attention inward. This inner silence is not a dead, empty darkness. It is the fertile, generative darkness of the womb. It is the rich, dark soil of pure potentiality. All true creation is conceived in this womb of silence. A brilliant scientific breakthrough does not come from a mind that is frantically trying to figure it out. It arrives as a flash of insight in a moment of quiet contemplation, when the logical mind has finally given up. A masterpiece of music is not composed by committee. It is received by a composer who has learned to listen to the silence between the notes. A profound spiritual realization is not the conclusion of a mental argument. It is a direct knowing that blossoms in a mind that has become still. The chattering, thinking mind can only rearrange what it already knows. It can shuffle the old furniture around in the room, but it cannot create a new piece of furniture. The truly new, the inspired, the divine can only enter through the portal of a silent and receptive consciousness. Your task, then, is not to fear this inner silence, but to fall in love with it. It is to learn to court it, to enter it, to rest in it as your true home. And this brings us to the practice of meditation. Meditation has been greatly misunderstood in the modern world. We have turned it into another goal for the ego to achieve, another task to be good or bad at. We believe meditation is the act of stopping our thoughts. We sit down, and the mind is noisy, so we try to force it to be quiet. We struggle, we get frustrated, and we conclude, "I am bad at meditation." This is like trying to calm a stormy ocean by beating the waves with a stick. It only creates more turmoil. Let us redefine meditation. Meditation is not a battle against thought. Meditation is the gentle, loving act of shifting your attention away from the thoughts and onto the silence that is already here. The silence is the background of your entire experience. It was here before the thought, it is here during the thought, and it will be here after the thought has passed. It is the screen upon which the movie of your mind is playing. The practice is simply to become more interested in the screen than in the movie. You can practice this right now. Instead of trying to get rid of the sounds you are hearing, can you listen to the silence underneath the sounds? Can you sense the vast, silent space in which all sounds are arising and dissolving? Notice the small gap of silence between the end of this sentence and the beginning of the next. It is always here. Now, turn your attention to your thoughts. Watch them come and go, and see if you can notice the space between them. A tiny pause where one thought ends and the next has not yet begun. Do not try to make this pause longer. Just notice it when it naturally occurs. That pause is the womb. It is the doorway. Rest your attention there. In that space, there is no past, no future, no story of me. There is only a simple, silent, alert presence. You do not need to sit on a cushion for an hour to do this. You can find these pockets of silence throughout your day. Find it in the moment you are waiting for your computer to start. Find it in the pause at the top of your inhalation. Find it while looking at a tree, allowing the mental label tree to fall away, leaving only silent, direct perception. Each time you consciously choose to place your attention on this underlying stillness, you are watering the seed of your own presence. You are deepening your roots in the fertile ground of being. You are becoming familiar with the feeling of home. As you spend more time in this inner sanctum, you will find that your relationship with the world changes. You will no longer be so easily pulled into the external dramas. You will have a deep well of peace within you to draw from. You will act not from a place of frantic, fearful reaction, but from a place of quiet, centered response. Your actions will have more power, your words more weight, because they will arise from a place of depth, not from the shallow surface of the ego. This is not about becoming passive or disengaged from life. It is about engaging with life from a completely different level of consciousness, a level that is aligned with the creative power of the universe itself. This silence is not an end in itself. It is the canvas upon which the masterpiece of your true life is painted. It is the condition necessary for a sacred birth. And as you rest in it more and more, as you become comfortable in this womb of potential, you begin to perceive a new kind of sound emerging from its depths. It is not the loud, demanding, repetitive echo of the ego and its fears. It is something far more subtle, more resonant. It is a gentle knowing that arises without thought, a quiet nudge in the right direction, a whisper that speaks in the language of feeling and synchronicity. This is the voice of your soul. This is your intuition. You have rested in the fertile darkness of the inner sanctum, the silent womb of all creation. You have discovered that this silence is not an emptiness, but a vibrant, intelligent presence. As you learn to abide in this stillness more often, you begin to perceive its firstborn child, the first sound to emerge from the profound quiet. It is not the familiar, frantic voice of your conditioned mind, the ego with its endless anxieties and recycled opinions. This is a different kind of voice. It is a whisper, a gentle resonance, a form of knowing that arrives fully formed, without the clumsy process of logical deduction. This is the voice of your intuition. It is the language of your soul. For most of your life, you have been trained to navigate the world using only your rational mind. The mind is a magnificent tool, a powerful biocomputer that can analyze, compare, calculate, and strategize. It is brilliant at processing information that it has already gathered from the past to make predictions about the future. But the mind has a fundamental limitation. It can only operate with what it already knows. It is a processor of the known. Intuition, on the other hand, is a perceiver of the unknown. It is a direct line to the unified field of intelligence, to the consciousness that animates the entire universe. It does not deduce, it knows. It does not guess, it sees. To rely only on your rational mind for guidance is like trying to navigate the vast, unpredictable ocean using only a roadmap of a single city. The map is useful within the city limits, but utterly useless on the open sea. Intuition is your celestial navigation. It is the compass that can guide you when you have sailed beyond the edges of your own map. The greatest challenge in learning to follow this inner guidance is distinguishing its subtle whisper from the loud, demanding shouts of the ego, which is primarily the voice of fear. This is the most crucial discernment you will ever learn. The voice of fear and the voice of intuition have entirely different signatures, different textures, different flavors. Your work is to become a connoisseur of your own inner landscape, able to tell them apart instantly. Let us examine the voice of fear, the voice of the ego. Its primary characteristic is that it is loud, frantic, and urgent. It feels like an alarm bell, creating a sense of panic and pressure. It insists you must decide right now. It often speaks in catastrophic what-if scenarios, projecting past pains onto the future. What if you fail like you did before? What if they reject you? The voice of fear feels heavy and contracting in your body. Pay attention to your physiology when it speaks. Your shoulders tense, your stomach clenches, your jaw tightens, your breathing becomes shallow. It is the body's fight-or-flight response being triggered by a thought. The voice of fear is also complex and argumentative. It will present you with a long, convoluted list of reasons, justifications, and evidence for why you should be afraid. It will debate with you, trying to wear you down with its relentless logic. It speaks in absolutes like, "You always mess this up," or "You'll never be able to do that." The end result of listening to the voice of fear is always a feeling of confusion, anxiety, and powerlessness. Now, let us contrast this with the whisper of intuition, the voice of the soul. Its primary characteristic is that it is quiet, calm, and neutral. It does not shout, it does not demand. It often arrives as a simple, clear, gentle nudge, a quiet yes or a peaceful no. It does not feel urgent. It feels steady and true, regardless of external circumstances. Intuition feels light and expansive in your body. When an intuitive knowing lands, you may feel a sense of opening in your chest, a quiet sigh of relief, a subtle feeling of rightness and peace, even if the guidance itself seems scary or illogical to the mind. The voice of intuition is simple and direct. It does not offer a long list of reasons. It does not argue. It simply presents itself as a self-evident truth. The thought, "You should call your mother," arrives simply, without a complex story attached. The knowing that a particular job offer, which looks perfect on paper, is not right for you, is just a calm, unwavering feeling. It doesn't need to justify itself. The end result of listening to your intuition is always a feeling of clarity and deep inner peace, a sense of being aligned with a larger flow. Intuition communicates in more ways than just a quiet thought. It speaks through the wisdom of your body. Your body is a magnificent intuitive resonator. Learn to use it as your compass. When considering a choice, bring the options to mind and notice your body's reaction. Does your body feel an inner pull forward, an expansion, a sense of openness? That is an intuitive yes. Does your body feel a sense of recoil, a contraction, a knot in your solar plexus, a feeling of heaviness? That is an intuitive no. Your body knows the truth long before your mind can catch up. Intuition also speaks to you through the language of synchronicity. These are the meaningful coincidences, the moments when the outer world seems to conspire to give you a message. You have a question in your mind, and you overhear a conversation between strangers that answers it perfectly. You think of an old friend for the first time in years, and moments later, they call you. You decide to follow a quiet nudge to take a different route home, and in doing so, you avoid an accident or stumble upon something wonderful. These are not random chance events. This is the universe winking at you. It is the outer world providing physical confirmation for your inner, intuitive guidance. When you begin to pay attention, you will realize this magical dialogue is happening all the time. So, how do you cultivate this power? How do you learn to hear the whisper above the roar of the world? First, you must consistently practice what we explored in the last chapter. Cultivate silence. You cannot hear a whisper in the middle of a rock concert. The daily practice of meditation, of just being still and quiet, is not about achieving anything. It is about creating the necessary acoustic environment for your intuition to be heard. Second, ask and then let go. Your intuition responds to clear questions. Before you go to sleep, or as you sit in meditation, you can pose a clear question to your deeper self. What is my next step regarding this situation? Do not try to answer it with your mind. Simply ask the question, and then release it completely. Trust that the answer will come, perhaps as a feeling, an idea upon waking, or a synchronicity during your day. The third and most important practice is to honor the small nudges. Your intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You build this muscle by acting on the small, low-stakes intuitive hits you receive. Get a quiet nudge to read a specific book from your shelf? Do it. Feel a sudden impulse to take a walk in the park? Go. Have a feeling you should reach out to a certain person? Send the message. When you act on these small guidances and see that they lead you to something positive, a piece of information you needed, a feeling of joy, a helpful connection, you are building a powerful feedback loop of trust. Your intuition learns that it is being listened to, so it begins to speak more clearly and more frequently. You learn that its guidance is trustworthy, so you become braver in following it. To follow the quiet compass of intuition often means walking away from the detailed maps of logic and social approval. It is a path of radical trust. It requires a profound act of faith in a wisdom that is deeper than your own intellect. It demands that you loosen your white-knuckled grip on the need to know how everything will turn out, on the need to control every variable. Listening to the whisper of the soul is not possible without embracing a quality that the ego fears above all others, a quality often mistaken for weakness, but which is, in fact, the highest form of strength. It is the sacred and powerful art of surrender. You have learned to listen to the quiet whisper of your intuition, that inner compass pointing you toward your soul's true north. Yet, you may have noticed that this guidance often points you away from the safe, well-trodden paths of logic and social convention. It asks you to take leaps of faith, to walk into the unknown, to trust a feeling more than a fact. To follow this guidance requires a quality that the modern ego fears and misunderstands above all others. This quality is surrender. To the ego, the very word surrender is anathema. It equates surrender with failure, with giving up, with waving a white flag in defeat. The ego's entire existence is based on effort, struggle, resistance, and the desperate attempt to control life, to bend it to its will. To the ego, letting go is a form of death. But true spiritual surrender is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is not passive resignation. It is an act of profound intelligence and courage. It is the conscious choice to stop fighting a battle you were never meant to win, and to instead align yourself with a power that is infinitely greater than your own. Imagine you find yourself caught in a powerful river current. The water is pulling you downstream with immense force. The ego's immediate panicked instinct is to fight. You flail your arms, you kick your legs, you try to swim directly against the current. Your mind screams, "I must get back to the shore I just left. I must control this." What is the result of this struggle? You exhaust your energy within minutes. You swallow water, your panic increases. The very act of fighting the current is what causes you to sink. Your resistance is the source of your suffering and your peril. Now, imagine in that moment of utter exhaustion, a different wisdom arises. You realize the futility of the fight. You decide to try something radically different. You decide to surrender. You stop flailing. You let go of the tension in your body. You turn onto your back, take a breath, and allow the river to hold you. This is a terrifying moment for the ego, for it means relinquishing control. But in that moment of letting go, you discover a miracle. You float. The very river you were fighting becomes your support. The current you were resisting becomes your vehicle. You are still conscious, still aware. You can use your hands to gently steer yourself away from a floating log or toward a calmer part of the river. But you are no longer trying to power the journey yourself. You are using the immense, inexhaustible power of the river itself. You have surrendered not your life, but your struggle. And in doing so, you have saved yourself. This is the art of surrender. Life will inevitably present you with currents you cannot control: a diagnosis, a job loss, the actions of another person, the state of the world. Your suffering does not come from the current itself, but from your fierce, egoic resistance to it. Surrender is the wise and courageous act of letting go of your resistance to the reality of the present moment. It is looking at what is, without argument, and saying a deep internal yes to it. This does not mean becoming a doormat. It is not about surrendering to abuse or injustice. We must be clear. In any situation, you have three sane choices: change it, leave it, or accept it fully. If you have the power to change a situation for the better, you must act. If you can leave a situation that is harmful, you must walk away. These are acts of power. But what about the situations you can neither change nor leave? This is where surrender becomes your only gateway to peace. This could be a chronic illness, a past event that cannot be undone, or the simple fact that it is raining on a day you wished for sun. In these moments, any energy spent resisting reality is pure, self-inflicted suffering. Surrender is the choice to drop the internal war. This is the meaning behind the universal prayer found in every spiritual tradition: "Thy will be done." This is not the prayer of a helpless victim. It is the prayer of a wise co-creator. It is the recognition that your personal, egoic will, which is based on limited information and is often driven by fear, is a very small thing. You are consciously choosing to align your small will with the greater will of life, the intelligence of the universe. You are saying, "I do not see the whole picture. My desires are based on my limited perspective. I trust that there is a higher intelligence at play, and I align myself with its unfolding, even if I do not understand it." A vital part of this practice is surrendering the how. Your intuition may give you a clear vision of the what: a creative project, a desire to heal, a new way of being. The ego will immediately jump in and demand to know how. It wants a step-by-step plan, a guaranteed outcome, a detailed map from here to there. This demand for the how creates immense mental pressure and anxiety, and it often paralyzes you from taking the first step. The art of surrender is to hold the vision of the what, and then release your attachment to the how, to the care of the universe. You do your part. You listen for the next intuitive nudge, you take the next right step that is in front of you, and you trust that the rest of the path will be revealed in its own perfect timing. You plant the seed, you water it, but you do not dig it up every day to see how it is growing. You surrender the process of germination to the soil and the sun. This leads to a beautiful paradox. The moment you truly surrender your need to control a situation, you often gain a strange and wonderful new power over it. While you were tense, struggling, and resisting, your perception was narrow. and your energy was consumed by the fight. The only solutions you could see were born of that same tense energy. But the moment you let go, the moment you surrender into a state of acceptance and trust, your energy field changes. You become calm and spacious. From this state of inner peace, new solutions, creative ideas, and inspired actions can arise that were completely invisible to you before. When you stop fighting the river, you can finally see the low-hanging branch on the shore that can lead you to safety. When you surrender your small will, you become a conduit for the will that creates galaxies. The ultimate proof of your surrender is your inner state. You can say the words, "I surrender," but if your body is still tense, if you are still feeling resentment or anxiety, you have not truly let go. You have only agreed to a temporary truce with reality. True surrender is always, without exception, accompanied by a feeling of deep peace. It is a quiet, expansive calm that is not dependent on the external situation changing. It is the peace that passeth all understanding. It is the peace of the floated, no longer fighting the river. This state of surrender is a state of non-resistance. It is a frictionless way of being in the world. When you cease to fight against the current of what is, you stop creating the turbulent karmic eddies of struggle and suffering. Instead of fighting the fundamental laws of reality, you begin to consciously cooperate with them. You learn to dance with one of the most elegant and misunderstood of these principles, the universal law of cause and effect, the perfect and impersonal mirror of karma. The act of surrender is a profound alignment with the flow of reality. When you cease your resistance, you stop creating the exhausting friction of a life lived at odds with itself. You begin to move with grace, to dance with the great, intelligent, and impersonal laws that govern existence. And the most elegant, the most precise, and the most misunderstood of these is the law of karma. The word karma has been draped in superstition and fear for centuries, especially in the Western mind. We have projected our own human concepts of judgment, sin, and punishment onto the universe, imagining karma to be a kind of cosmic police force, keeping a detailed ledger of our rights and wrongs, ready to mete out rewards and retribution. We speak of good karma and bad karma as if they were prizes and penalties handed down by a divine judge. This is a profound misunderstanding. It is the ego, with its dualistic mind of good and bad, projecting its own nature onto the flawless workings of the cosmos. To understand karma, you must first strip away these layers of fear and dogma. The universe does not judge you. It does not have an opinion about you. The law of karma is as neutral, as impersonal, and as reliable as the law of gravity. Gravity does not punish a glass for falling off a table by making it shatter. The shattering is simply the natural, unavoidable consequence of the glass meeting a solid surface at speed. The law simply operates. Karma is the law of gravity for consciousness. The word itself, in Sanskrit, simply means action. The law of karma is the law of action, and its inevitable, corresponding reaction. It is a perfect, closed-loop system of cause and effect where every thought, every word, and every deed is a cause that sets in motion a corresponding effect. The most powerful metaphor for understanding this is to imagine that the universe is a vast, flawless mirror wall that surrounds you completely. This mirror has no agenda. It has no personality. Its only function is to reflect back to you, with perfect, unerring accuracy, exactly what you present to it. If you approach the mirror with a heart full of anger, with a scowl on your face and your fists clenched, the mirror will show you an angry, threatening figure. The universe will then configure itself around that energy, bringing you experiences that justify and amplify your anger. You will meet other angry people. You will encounter frustrating obstacles. Life will feel like a fight, because you are presenting the energy of a fight to the mirror. If, instead, you approach the mirror with a heart full of love, with a gentle smile and open hands, the mirror will show you a loving, welcoming figure. The universe will then reconfigure itself around that energy. You will begin to notice the kindness in others. You will find doors opening for you. Life will feel like a graceful dance, because you are presenting the energy of a dance to the mirror. Most human beings spend their entire lives trying to change the reflection in the mirror. They scream at the angry reflection, they plead with it, they try to reason with it. They attempt to physically force its expression to change. But the mirror cannot change on its own. It can only reflect. The only way to change the reflection is to change the source of the reflection. The only way to change your world is to change yourself. Every action you take, from the grandest gesture to the most fleeting thought, is a seed that you plant in the fertile field of consciousness. The law of karma dictates that you will, without fail, harvest the fruit of the seed you have planted. If you plant seeds of discord, judgment, and deceit, you cannot harvest a crop of peace, acceptance, and trust. You will reap precisely what you have sown. The most crucial element of this seed is not the external action itself, but the intention behind it. The intention is the vibrational DNA encoded within the seed. An act of charity performed to impress others and feed the ego is a seed of pride. It may produce the fruit of temporary public recognition, but it will also produce the bitter fruit of inner emptiness. The exact same act of charity, performed from a place of silent, genuine compassion, with no desire for recognition, is a seed of pure love. Its fruit will be a deep and abiding inner peace, and a magnetic attraction of more love into your life. The universe does not look at what you do. It looks at the energy from which you are doing it. One of the reasons people doubt this law is because of the element of time. Unlike the instant feedback of gravity, there is often a time delay between the planting of a karmic seed and the harvesting of its fruit. You may plant a seed of kindness today, and the beautiful flower of that kindness may not bloom in your experience for weeks, months, or even years. This is not a flaw in the system. It is a profound blessing. This time lag gives you the opportunity to change your future harvest. Even if you have spent years planting the seeds of negativity, you have, in this very moment, the power to begin planting new seeds of forgiveness, of compassion, of generosity. And these new seeds will begin to grow, altering the entire landscape of your future. This brings us to the most empowering truth about karma. Karma is not fate. Your past actions have created a certain momentum, a certain trajectory for your life, much like the trajectory of a ball that has been thrown. But you are not the ball. You are the one who can, in this present moment, apply a new force, a new intention, that can completely change that trajectory. The point of power to alter your karma is always and only ever now. In every situation you face, you are at a crossroads. The situation itself is the effect of past karma, but how you respond to it is the new cause you are creating. You can react unconsciously, out of your old conditioning, thereby planting the exact same seed and ensuring the cycle repeats itself. Or you can pause. You can bring the light of your awareness to the moment. You can consciously choose to respond differently. You can choose to meet anger with understanding. You can choose to meet fear with compassion. You can choose to meet scarcity with generosity. This conscious choice is the most powerful act a human being can undertake. It is the act of becoming the master of your karma rather than the slave of your history. You do not even have to wait for all your old karmic debts to be paid. By consciously and consistently cultivating a high vibrational state in the present, you can mitigate and even dissolve the effects of past negative actions. To radiate the energies of love, forgiveness, and peace is like pouring vast quantities of pure, clean water into a small, muddy pond. Eventually, the sheer volume of the clean water will displace and transform the mud, and the entire pond will become clear. Your present state of consciousness is the ultimate karmic purifier. The purpose of this perfect, impersonal law is not to keep you trapped in an endless cycle of retribution. Its ultimate purpose is to teach. It is a divine educational system, a self-correcting feedback loop designed to guide every soul back to the remembrance of its true nature, which is love. Every time you experience the painful reflection of your own fear or judgment, it is a compassionate lesson from the universe. It is a gentle, though often painful, invitation saying, "This is not who you are. This energy does not serve you. Please, choose again. Choose love." This universal law of karma reveals that the world is not something happening to you, but rather a perfect reflection of you. Understanding this intellectually is one thing. To begin using it as a powerful tool for awakening, however, requires that we look unflinchingly into this mirror. We must have the courage to see our own reflection in the people and the circumstances that populate our daily lives. This begins with the radical and transformative recognition of the world as your mirror. The law of karma has revealed a profound truth. The universe is a perfect and impartial mirror, reflecting your own state of being back to you. Now, we move from the grand cosmic principle to its intimate daily application. We learn to use this truth as the most powerful tool for self-awareness you will ever possess. The practice is to adopt a new and radical perception, that every person, every circumstance, and every challenge you encounter is a mirror, showing you a direct reflection of your own consciousness. This is one of the most difficult and ego-shattering truths to accept. The ego's immediate and violent reaction is one of defense. "No," it screams. "It is not my fault. He is arrogant. She is lazy. The world is unjust. They are the problem, not me." The ego's entire identity is built upon the story of being a separate self, a victim or a hero in a world of others. To suggest that those others are simply a reflection of oneself is to pull the rug out from under its entire reality. So, for the journey we are about to take, I ask you to perform a courageous experiment. Suspend your disbelief. Set aside the ego's protests and be willing, just for a while, to look at your life through the lens of this one powerful question: what is this showing me about myself? Let us begin with your relationships. Every person you interact with is a mirror. Start with the positive reflections. Think of someone you deeply admire. What qualities do you love in them? Is it their courage, their creativity, their unwavering kindness, their sharp intellect? The very fact that you can recognize these qualities in them means that the seed of that same quality exists within you. You are resonating with it. Their brilliance is a reflection of your own unexpressed potential, your own dormant light. The mirror is showing you what you are capable of becoming. To admire a quality in another is your soul recognizing itself. Now, we turn to the more challenging reflections, which are, in fact, your greatest teachers. Think of a person who consistently triggers you, someone whose behavior irritates, frustrates, or enrages you. What is the specific quality in them that pushes your buttons? Are they arrogant, selfish, insecure, a victim? Now, with immense courage and honesty, you must ask the question, where does that same quality live in me? This is the psychological principle of projection. The aspects of ourselves that we cannot accept, that we have disowned and repressed into the unconscious, we are destined to see and judge harshly in others. If you are infuriated by someone's arrogance, the mirror is asking you to look at your own relationship with pride and confidence. Are there areas in your life where you are acting with subtle arrogance? Or, perhaps more likely, are you living in a state of false humility, secretly wishing you had the confidence to take up more space, and judging them for doing what you are afraid to do? If you are constantly annoyed by a person you deem lazy, the mirror is inviting you to examine your own relationship with rest and allowing. Are you a workaholic, addicted to being busy, and judging them for embodying the rest you refuse to give yourself? Their perceived laziness is mirroring your own inner imbalance. The trigger is a loving, though painful, alarm from your soul, pointing a finger not at the other person, but at an unhealed, unacknowledged wound within your own psyche. The practice is to stop the lifelong habit of asking, "What is wrong with them?" and to begin the sacred work of asking, What is this person here to teach me about myself? This mirror principle extends beyond people and into the very circumstances of your life. Look for the recurring patterns. Are you repeatedly finding yourself in jobs with critical, controlling bosses? The external situation is a mirror, reflecting back an inner belief, perhaps a deep-seated feeling from childhood that you are not capable and need to be controlled. Do you keep attracting romantic partners who are emotionally unavailable? The mirror is relentlessly showing you your own emotional unavailability, your own fear of true intimacy, which you have not yet faced in yourself. You cannot attract a deeply available partner if your own heart is a locked fortress. Life does not give you what you want. Life gives you who you are. These repeating patterns are not a curse. They are a compassionate, holographic feedback loop designed to bring your unconscious beliefs to the surface so that they can finally be seen and healed. Even your perception of the world at large is a mirror. If you look at the world and see only chaos, division, greed, and conflict, it is a reflection of the chaos and division within the collective human consciousness, and therefore, within you. To fight the world, to rage against its insanity, is to fight your own reflection. The path of the conscious creator is to turn away from the reflection and heal the source. Do you want more peace in the world? Then you must cultivate a profound and unshakable peace within your own heart. Do you want to see more compassion in the world? Then you must become an embodiment of radical compassion in all of your own interactions. You cannot give to the world what you do not possess within yourself. To change the world, you must first become the world you wish to see. This leads us to the practical application of this wisdom, which can be summarized in a simple analogy. When you look in the bathroom mirror in the morning and see a smudge of dirt on your cheek, what do? You do not get angry at the mirror. You do not try to wipe the smudge off the glass. That would be insane. You recognize the reflection for what it is, and you reach up and gently wipe your own face. The work is always, and only ever, on yourself. Complaining about your boss, your partner, or the state of the world is the futile act of trying to scrub the mirror. It achieves nothing but frustration. The moment you see a smudge in your external reality, the practice is to immediately withdraw your projection, turn your attention inward, and ask, where is the smudge in me? This principle culminates in a state of radical 100% responsibility. Note that responsibility is not the same as blame or guilt. Blame is an egoic judgment. Responsibility is the recognition of yourself as the creative source of your experience. It is the end of victimhood. It is the ultimate reclamation of your power. You are no longer a helpless leaf blown about by the winds of a random and often hostile world. You are a powerful creator, standing in the center of a holographic universe that is constantly providing you with perfect, personalized feedback to guide you on your journey of awakening. Taking full responsibility for your reflection, for every aspect of your experience, is the beginning of true spiritual mastery. But it requires immense courage. For this mirror does not only show you your hidden beauty and your unexpressed potential. If you look long enough, if you are truly honest with yourself, it will also show you the parts of yourself you have banished into the darkness because they were deemed unacceptable. To fully integrate your power and become whole, you must be willing to face the reflection of your own disowned self. You must be willing to turn and embrace your shadow. You have learned to look into the mirror of the world and take responsibility for your own reflection. This is an act of immense power, but it is also an act of immense courage. For the mirror of reality does not only reflect back to you your hidden light, your dormant beauty, and your untapped potential. If you are truly honest, if you look with unflinching clarity, the mirror will also show you the things you do not wish to see. It will show you your judgments, your pettiness, your fears. It will show you the aspects of yourself that you have deemed unworthy, unacceptable, and unlovable. It will show you your shadow, The shadow self is a concept first brought into the light by the great psychologist Carl Jung. It is not, as the name might suggest, something evil or malevolent. The shadow is simply the container for all the parts of yourself that you were forced to disown in order to survive and be accepted in your childhood. We are all born whole, with a full spectrum of human emotions and impulses. But very early on, we learn that certain parts are good and receive love, while other parts are bad and receive punishment or disapproval. The good parts being polite, quiet, obedient, happy we keep in the light, and form our conscious personality, our ego ideal. The bad parts our rage, our envy, our wildness, our vulnerability, our greed we are taught to be ashamed of. So, we take these parts, we stuff them into a metaphorical bag, and we throw that bag into the dark basement of our unconscious mind. The shadow is this bag of disowned selves. The great illusion we live under is that by repressing these parts, we have gotten rid of them. But nothing in consciousness is ever truly lost. Just because the bag is in the basement does not mean it is empty or inert. In fact, the more energy you spend trying to pretend it's not there, the more powerful it becomes. The shadow, starved of the light of your conscious awareness, will fight for its life. It will seek to integrate itself, and if you do not do this work consciously, the shadow will do it unconsciously, and often destructively. The primary way the shadow manifests is through projection. This is the mechanism we explored in the last chapter. When we are unable to see a quality in ourselves, we will project it outward and see it with startling clarity in others. The qualities that infuriate you, that trigger an irrationally strong emotional reaction in you when you see them in another person, are the contents of your own shadow bag. The self-righteous person who sees hypocrisy everywhere is blind to their own. The person who judges everyone as selfish is being guided by their own unacknowledged selfishness. The shadow turns us into hypocrites, and our judgment of others is always a confession of our own disowned parts. The shadow also runs our lives through self-sabotage. The repressed energy has to go somewhere. It is like trying to hold a large beach ball underwater. It takes immense, constant, and exhausting effort to keep it down. The moment you are tired, stressed, or distracted, the ball will shoot to the surface with an explosive and uncontrollable force. This is the sudden, inexplicable outburst of rage from a person who is normally nice. It is the addictive behavior that mysteriously takes over. It is the successful person who, on the brink of their greatest achievement, does something to inexplicably ruin it all. Because a hidden part of them, a shadow belief of unworthiness, is unconsciously running the show. Your shadow will run your life by default until you have the courage to run it by choice. The work of becoming whole is not to destroy the shadow, which is impossible. It is to do what is called shadow work, the conscious and compassionate process of integration. It is to have the courage to walk down into the basement of your own psyche, to open the bag you have hidden for so long, and to gently, without judgment, examine its contents in the light of your awareness. How does one do this? You begin by using your projections as a treasure map. Make a list of the people who trigger you. Write down the specific qualities that you judge so harshly in them. This list is not about them. This list is the table of contents for your own shadow. Then, for each quality, you must ask 2 questions with radical honesty. First, where in my life have I expressed this same quality, perhaps in a more subtle way? And second, where in my life have I wanted to express this quality, but was too afraid or too ashamed to do so? This takes immense humility, but it is the key that unlocks the prison. The next, and most magical, step is to find the gold in the darkness. Within every negative trait that you have relegated to the shadow, there is a core of pure, powerful, and beautiful life force energy. Your shadow qualities are simply this beautiful energy in a distorted, unskillful, or immature form. The work is to redeem the energy, not to condemn the distortion. For example, within the shadow of rage, you will find the gold of immense passion, the power to protect, and the strength to set firm boundaries. Within the shadow of greed, you will find the gold of a healthy and powerful desire to grow, expand, and experience more of life. Within the shadow of laziness, you will find the gold of deep relaxation and the wisdom of non-doing. Within the shadow of fear, you will find the gold of intuition, prudence, and a deep sensitivity to your environment. Shadow work is the alchemical process of transmuting the lead of these distorted expressions back into the pure gold of their essential energy. You do this by acknowledging the quality, forgiving yourself for judging it, and consciously looking for healthy ways to integrate its golden essence into your life. This journey of embracing your shadow is the path to true authenticity and wholeness. A person who denies their shadow is brittle and inauthentic. They wear a mask of light and love, but live in constant fear of being exposed. They are often the most judgmental of all people, because they are constantly projecting their own disowned darkness onto others. A person who has done their shadow work, however, is grounded, real, and deeply compassionate. They are not perfect, but they are whole. They can be compassionate with the failings of others because they have had the courage to face the same failings in themselves. They are no longer wasting enormous amounts of life force holding the beach ball underwater. All of that reclaimed energy is now available to them for love, for creativity, and for living a vibrant and authentic life. Your shadow, you see, is not your enemy. It is simply proof that there is a light shining upon you. You cannot outrun your shadow. The faster you run, the faster it follows. The only way to deal with your shadow is to stop running, to turn around, and to face the light. When you stand tall and face the source of light, the light of your own consciousness, the light of love, your shadow automatically and effortlessly falls behind you, where it can no longer obscure your vision. The integration of your shadow and light is the end of your inner war. You are no longer fragmented, no longer hiding parts of yourself from yourself. You become whole. And from this state of wholeness, a profound realization dawns. You discover that the constant gnawing feeling of not enough, not good enough, not worthy enough, not having enough was simply a symptom of your own inner division. When you become whole within, you discover the unshakable truth of your own innate abundance. You have walked through the mirror maze of your own psyche. You have had the courage to face your reflection, to own your projections, and to begin the sacred work of embracing your shadow. This is the path to wholeness. And as you integrate the disowned parts of yourself, as the inner civil war between your light and your darkness begins to cease, you come face to face with the wound that started the war in the first place. You encounter the foundational lie, the invisible epidemic of the human spirit, the single belief that is the source of almost all our suffering. It is a quiet, venomous whisper that has been running in the background of your consciousness for your entire life. It is the belief that you are not enough. This feeling of inadequacy is the great sickness of the modern world. It is a psychic parasite that feeds on your life force. It is the engine that drives our obsessive consumer culture. The belief that if you just buy the right car, the right clothes, the right phone, you will finally patch the hole in your soul and feel worthy. It is the fuel for workaholism, the desperate striving to achieve one more goal, one more promotion, in the hopes that this next accomplishment will finally be the one that proves your value. It is the addiction behind the endless scroll for social media validation, the pathetic hunger for likes and shares to reassure you that you matter. It is a constant, low-grade fever of anxiety, a background hum that says, I am a problem to be solved. I am flawed. I am falling short. Where did you learn this devastating lie? You were not born with it. You arrived in this world as a perfect expression of life, a bundle of pure potential, inherently worthy and complete. But then the conditioning began. At school, you were given grades and rankings, teaching you that your worth was measured by your performance and was relative to others. At home, you may have received love that was conditional upon your behavior, learning that you were good and lovable when you were quiet and obedient, and bad and unlovable when you were angry or messy. You were taught to compare yourself to your siblings, to your classmates, to the idealized images on television. Slowly but surely, the pristine, innate knowing of your own value was papered over with layers of external validation until you forgot it was even there. You came to believe that your worth was not an intrinsic state of being, but something that had to be earned, proven, and constantly defended. Today, we are going to expose this belief for the absolute and total fraud that it is. We are going to pull it out from the shadows of the unconscious, look it squarely in the eye, and reclaim the truth of your being. And the truth is this: your worth is not negotiable. It is absolute, inherent, and untouchable. It was bestowed upon you by the universe at the moment of your conception. It is woven into every cell of your body and every spark of your consciousness. It cannot be increased by your successes, your wealth, or the opinions of others. And it cannot be diminished by your failures, your mistakes, or the judgments of others. It simply is. You are worthy not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And who you are is a unique, unrepeatable manifestation of the divine intelligence that creates worlds. Look to nature, for it is the great teacher of this truth. Consider a great oak tree. Does a tiny acorn lie in the earth worrying if it is acorn enough to grow? Does a sapling struggle and strive to prove it is worthy of becoming a mighty tree? The acorn simply surrenders to the innate intelligence within it, the perfect blueprint of the oak tree. It already is in potential. It draws nourishment, it reaches for the light, and it becomes what it is destined to be. It does not compare itself to the willow tree and wish it were more graceful. It does not judge the rose bush for being small and delicate. Its oakness is its perfection. It is enough, simply by being what it is. Now, consider a star in the night sky. Does a star struggle and strain to shine? Does it check to see how brightly the other stars are shining, and then dim its own light in shame if it feels inferior? It blazes forth with the full, glorious, unadulterated intensity of its being. It holds nothing back. It shines because shining is its nature. It doesn't need a reason to shine. It doesn't need permission to shine. Its existence and its expression are one and the same. And so it is with you. You have been taught to think of yourself as a machine that needs to be constantly fixed and upgraded. But you are not a machine. You are a force of nature. You are a child of this universe, as essential and as worthy as any oak tree, as any star, as any galaxy. Your very existence is your permission to be here. Your breath is your certificate of worthiness. Your heartbeat is the rhythm of the cosmos affirming your right to exist. Please, let this truth sink past the cynical guard of your mind and into the very marrow of your bones. We must make a crucial distinction here. While your fundamental worth is absolute and untouchable, your behavior is not. Your actions can be skillful or unskillful. Your choices can be aligned with love or aligned with fear. But you are not your behavior. You are not your choices. You are not your mistakes. You are the sacred, silent awareness in which all behavior, all choices, and all mistakes arise and are witnessed. A sky is not tainted by the storm clouds that pass through it. You are not tainted by the thoughts and actions that pass through you. You can learn from your mistakes, you can refine your behavior, but you do this not to become worthy, but because you are worthy, and a worthy being deserves to live a life of alignment, joy, and peace. The lie of "not enough" is a deeply hypnotic spell, a mantra that has been on repeat in your subconscious for decades. To break this spell, you must consciously install a new mantra, a new core belief that is aligned with the truth of your soul. This new mantra is the most powerful, healing, and transformative statement you can ever claim for yourself. It is simply this: I am enough. Let us practice this now. I invite you to gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, silently or aloud, say the words, I am enough. Feel the vibration of those words in your body. Don't just think them, try to feel them. Again, breathe in the life force of the universe. Breathe out the lie of your inadequacy. I am enough. Your mind will likely fight this. It will immediately throw up a mountain of evidence to the contrary, a highlight reel of your failures, your flaws, your shortcomings. Do not engage with it. Do not argue with it. See those thoughts for what they are, the death throes of an old, dying program. Simply notice them, and gently, lovingly, return to the truth. Return to the mantra. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, enough. Let this become your new rhythm, your new heartbeat, the new foundation upon which you will build your life. When you begin to live from this new foundation, everything changes. Your motivation for action shifts entirely. You no longer operate from a place of lack, from a hungry need to prove yourself, to impress others, to fill the inner void. You begin to operate from a place of fullness, of overflow. You create, not to get applause, but for the sheer, unadulterated joy of creation itself. You are generous, not to be seen as a good person, but because abundance is overflowing from you. You love, not to receive love in return, but because your own heart has become a fountain of it. The desperate, exhausting quest for external validation finally comes to an end. You stop being a beggar for scraps of approval from the world because you have finally claimed the kingdom within yourself. When the profound, unshakable truth that you are enough becomes the new ground of your being, the entire operating system of your life reboots. The frantic search for someone or something outside of you to tell you that you are worthy finally ceases. You become your own source of love, your own source of validation, your own source of peace. And from this sovereign place of inner sufficiency, you are at last free to do the bravest and most beautiful thing a human being can do. To show up in the world, without a mask, without apology, and to live from a place of pure authenticity. You have faced your shadow and stood in the profound, unshakable truth of your own enoughness. The inner war is over. The frantic, lifelong search for external validation is coming to an end. You have discovered the infinite wellspring of worth within yourself. From this newfound ground of being, from this sovereign place of inner sufficiency, you are finally free. You are free to take off the masks. You are free to lay down the heavy burden of performance. You are free to do the single, bravest, most terrifying, and most liberating thing a human being can do, to be unapologetically, authentically yourself. Authenticity is the natural state of all of life, except for the conditioned human. It is the perfect congruence between what is on the inside and what is expressed on the outside. For most of your life, you have lived in a state of inauthenticity, and the cost has been immense. You have worn a series of carefully constructed masks to navigate the world. There was the good child mask to win your parents' love, the diligent student mask to earn your teacher's approval, the competent employee mask to secure your position, the cool and witty friend mask to ensure you were never lonely. You have become a master performer, a shapeshifter, constantly monitoring your audience and adjusting your personality to reflect what you think they want to see. And it is utterly, soul-crushingly exhausting. This constant performance, this managing of multiple, conflicting identities, is the source of the deep weariness that plagues the modern world. It is the feeling of being a fraud in your own life. What is the fear that keeps these masks glued to your face? It is the primal fear of rejection. It is the deep-seated belief that if people saw the real youth, messy, imperfect, quirky, sometimes sad, sometimes angry, vulnerable you, they would not love you, they would leave. And so you hide. You edit and censor yourself. You say yes when your soul is screaming no. You laugh at jokes you do not find funny. You pursue goals that society applauds, but that leave your own heart cold. You have abandoned your true self in exchange for the promise of acceptance. But the acceptance you receive for your mask is not real. It is a shallow, conditional approval, that only reinforces your belief that the real you is unworthy. You have traded the gold of self-love for the counterfeit currency of public opinion. Let us imagine that every soul is born as a unique piece of music. Your song is a one-of-a-kind melody, a vibrational signature that has never existed before and will never exist again. It is the sum of your passions, your gifts, your perspectives, your deepest loves, and your most tender sorrows. It is the music of your soul. A life of inauthenticity is the painful and discordant experience of trying to play someone else's song. It is like being born a violin, with the capacity to create soaring, heartbreakingly beautiful melodies, but spending your whole life trying to sound like a drum because you think drums are more popular. You will fail, of course, and the effort will leave you feeling broken, inadequate, and perpetually out of tune. This is the source of that feeling of emptiness, that sense that something is deeply wrong, even when your life looks perfect on the outside. You are playing against your own nature. Authenticity is the moment you give yourself permission to play your own song. It is the courageous act of picking up your violin, taking a deep breath, and drawing the bow across the strings to release the music that has been trapped inside you for a lifetime. At first, the sound may be shaky. You are out of practice. You are afraid of what others will think, but you play anyway. You play the notes that feel true, the melody that arises from the silence within you. This is not an act of arrogance. It is an act of sacred integrity. It is you, finally honoring the divine impulse that created you. The practice of authenticity begins with listening inward. You must once again get quiet enough to hear your own music, beneath the deafening noise of the world's expectations. This is where all the inner work we have done culminates. You must ask yourself the real questions. What do I truly value? Not what am I supposed to value? What brings me genuine, unadulterated joy, not what is considered fun or cool? What makes my heart sing, even if no one else understands? You must become the world's foremost expert on yourself. Then, you begin the practice of honest expression. You start small. It may be as simple as telling the truth when someone asks how you are, instead of the automatic, "I'm fine." It may be admitting you don't know the answer to a question, instead of pretending you do. It may be saying a gentle but firm no to a request that would violate your own inner peace. It may be sharing a creative idea you were afraid was silly. Each small act of authentic expression is like building a muscle. Each time you choose your truth over social approval, the muscle gets stronger. You begin to build a foundation of self-trust. You learn through experience that it is safe to be you. And what of the great fear? If I am my true self, if I play my real song, people will leave me. Yes, they will. Some of them will. And you must be willing to let them go. This is the great, powerful, and terrifying truth of authentic living. Authenticity is a vibrational filter. When you hide behind a mask, you attract people who are in a relationship with your mask. They do not know the real you. They may not even like the real you. When you take off the mask and begin to play your own authentic music, those people who were only comfortable with your performance will find the new sound jarring. They will drift away. You must bless them and release them with love, for their departure is a sacred gift. It is creating space. Because here is the other side of the miracle. When you have the courage to play your own song, loudly and clearly, the people who are meant for you, the people who have been looking for your exact melody their entire lives, will hear you. They will hear your song across the crowded room, across the noisy world, and they will be drawn to you. This is how you find your true tribe, your soul family. You trade the shallow acceptance of the crowd for the deep, resonant, soul-level connection with the few who are tuned to your same frequency. You finally feel seen, not for the person you were pretending to be, but for the magnificent being you truly are. The freedom that comes from this is indescribable. It is the end of the performance. It is the end of the exhaustion. It is the end of the gnawing anxiety of being found out. It is the simple, grounded, and deeply peaceful power of just being yourself. You realize that your primary job in this lifetime is not to be liked by others. It is to be in a state of profound and unshakable integrity with yourself. Playing your unique and authentic song is not just an act of personal liberation, it is your sacred offering to the world. A world full of people playing someone else's music is a world of noise and discord. A world where each person has the courage to express their own authentic note is the world that creates a divine symphony. When you bravely allow your true self to shine, you naturally begin to wonder how this personal truth fits into the larger picture. You find that you no longer need to search for your purpose, because in living authentically, you have become it. Your purpose is not a destination to be found, but a frequency to be embodied in every note you play. You have stepped into the liberating power of authenticity. You have begun to play the music of your own soul. And in doing so, you may find an old, nagging question begin to surface. But what is my purpose? In our culture, this question has become a source of immense pressure and anxiety. We have been taught that purpose is a singular, grand destination, a hidden treasure that we must spend our lives frantically searching for. It is the one perfect career, the one great book we must write, the one world-changing company we must build. We live under the tyranny of this belief, constantly feeling lost, inadequate, and behind schedule on this mythical quest. We look at the lives of others and think, they've found their purpose. What is wrong with me? Today, we are going to dismantle this painful illusion. The idea that your purpose is a specific, what that you must do or find, is one of the ego's most clever tricks to keep you in a state of perpetual seeking, to keep your attention forever locked on a future that never arrives. It pulls you out of the only place your true purpose can ever be found, the present moment. Let us redefine purpose entirely. Purpose is not a destination you search for. It is a frequency you live from. It is not what you do. It is the quality of consciousness, the energy, the vibration you bring to what you are doing, right here, right now. You don't find your purpose. You embody it. You don't have a purpose. You are your purpose. This frequency of purpose is composed of a few core universal energies. Your unique purpose is your own personal blend of these frequencies. The first is the frequency of joy and aliveness. This is the energy you feel when you are completely engaged in an activity, so absorbed that you lose all track of time. It is that flow state where the sense of a separate, you doing something disappears, and there is only the joyful unfolding of the activity itself. What makes you feel this way? Is it gardening? Is it coding? Is it playing with your children? Is it deep conversation? Is it organizing your space? The ego is quick to judge these activities as productive or unproductive, important or trivial. But the soul does not care. The soul only cares about what makes you feel alive. That feeling of aliveness, of being lit up from within, is your soul's compass pointing directly at one of the notes in your chord of purpose. The second is the frequency of service. This is the innate human desire to contribute, to be of use, to make things a little better for others. This has been distorted by the ego into a heavy sense of obligation or a need for grandiose sacrifice. But true service is much simpler and lighter. It is asking from the heart, how can I help? It can be expressed in infinite ways. It is the kindness you show a stranger. It is the focused presence you offer a friend in pain. It is creating a product that solves a real problem for people. It is making art that brings beauty and inspiration into the world. It is simply holding a space of unwavering peace for your family amidst the chaos. The act of service takes you out of the small, contracted state of the ego and connects you to the larger web of life. It is a powerful, high-frequency state of being. The third is the frequency of authentic self-expression, which we explored in the last chapter. This is the energy you radiate when you are being your true, unfiltered self. It is sharing your unique perspective, your quirky sense of humor, your hidden talents, your hard-won wisdom. When you speak your truth with courage, when you create something that only you could create, you are embodying your purpose. Your unique expression is a gift to the collective that no one else can offer. Your purpose is not about finding one single job that contains all of these things. It is about learning to intentionally bring these frequencies into every aspect of the life you are already living. Let us use a metaphor. The ego believes that purpose is about reaching the summit of one specific, culturally approved mountain, let's call it Mount Success. If you are not on that specific mountain, you are lost. The soul knows that any mountain is the right mountain. The purpose is not the destination of the summit. The purpose is found in how you climb. Are you climbing with presence, noticing the small flowers growing between the rocks? Are you climbing with joy in your heart, feeling the strength in your legs? Are you being of service, helping a fellow climber who has stumbled on the path? You could be living your purpose more profoundly while washing dishes with complete presence and love than a celebrated CEO who has reached the summit but feels empty, disconnected, and miserable. The state of your consciousness in the activity is the purpose, not the activity itself. To discover your unique blend of these frequencies, you must stop asking the ego's question, "What should I do with my life?" and start asking the soul's questions. What makes me feel most alive? What activities make me lose all track of time? What did I love to do as a child before the world told me what I should do? What conversations light me up and give me energy? What problem in the world breaks my heart in a way that makes me want to contribute a solution? In what moments do I feel the most like my true, authentic self? Take time to sit with these questions. Write down the answers without judgment. The answers are your clues. They are pointing you toward your unique vibrational signature. You do not need to quit your job or dramatically change your life to begin living your purpose today. You can start right where you are. Can you bring more presence to your current work? Can you find one small way to be of service to your colleagues or customers? Can you find one opportunity today to express your authentic opinion with kindness and respect? Can you find 5 minutes to engage in an activity that brings you simple joy? By doing this, you begin to weave the frequency of purpose into the fabric of your daily life. You start to conduct its energy, and as you do, the law of resonance will begin to work its magic. As you embody your purpose more fully, the universe will start to bring you opportunities and situations that are a better and better match for that frequency. Your outer world will begin to rearrange itself to match your new inner reality. When you live from your purpose in this way, you are no longer struggling against the river of life. You are flowing with it. You have tuned your instrument to the key of the cosmos. You are playing your unique and essential part in the grand symphony of existence. The violinist does not need to become a trumpet to fulfill its purpose. It only needs to be the most brilliant, most present, most joyful violinist it can be. That is its contribution. That is its purpose. When you live in this state of alignment, embodying the resonant frequencies of joy, service, and authenticity, you enter into a new and miraculous relationship with the universe. You are no longer pushing, striving, and forcing. You are allowing, flowing, and harmonizing. And when you are in this state of grace, a magical principle of co-creation is activated. The universe begins to conspire with you and for you, amplifying your joy and bringing you more of what you are already embodying. You discover that the very act of living your purpose is magnified and multiplied through the creative and magnetic power of gratitude. You are now living from the inside out. You are expressing your authentic music and embodying your unique frequency of purpose. You have aligned your personal will with the greater flow of the cosmos. When you exist in this state of harmony, you activate one of the most powerful and magical laws of the universe. You begin to consciously wield a force that can amplify your joy, dissolve all sense of lack, and magnetize to you all that is good, true, and beautiful. This force is gratitude. Like so many sacred concepts, gratitude has been flattened and diminished by our modern culture. We have reduced it to a polite courtesy, a mechanical thank you, a moral obligation you are supposed to feel for what you have. This superficial understanding robs gratitude of its immense creative power. True gratitude is not a social pleasantry. It is a profound state of consciousness. It is not an action you perform. It is a space you inhabit. It is the conscious, deliberate practice of placing your attention on the abundance that is already present in your life, rather than on the scarcity that the ego perceives. It is a fundamental and radical shift in your perception of reality, from a mindset of lack to a mindset of fullness. Energetically, gratitude is one of the highest and purest frequencies you can embody, vibrating in the same celestial neighborhood as unconditional love. It is an energy of expansion, of openness, of reception. When you are in a genuine state of gratitude, your heart is open, your mind is at peace, and your entire being broadcasts a powerful, coherent, and harmonious signal out into the quantum field. And by the immutable law of resonance, the universe must, without fail, send you more experiences, people, and circumstances that match this high frequency. Gratitude is not a response to a gift. Gratitude is a creative force that summons the gift. Imagine that reality is like a radio, capable of broadcasting on an infinite number of channels simultaneously. There is a Life is a Struggle channel, an I Am a Victim channel, and a There is Never Enough channel. Most of humanity is unconsciously tuned to these lower frequency stations, and so their life experience is one of static, struggle, and lack. But at the same time, the universe is also broadcasting a Miracles Are Normal channel, a Joyful Abundance channel, and a Deep Connection channel. These frequencies are available to everyone, at all times. Gratitude is the act of consciously and deliberately turning your tuner dial. It is you, taking your hand and moving the dial away from the static of complaint and onto the clear, beautiful music of appreciation. When you are tuned to the frequency of gratitude, you simply cannot hear the broadcasts of lack and despair. They are still there, but you are no longer a vibrational match for them. The ego's greatest defense against this practice is the insidious trap of when, then thinking. I will be grateful when I get the promotion. I will feel abundant when I have more money in the bank. I will be happy then. This is a formula for perpetual misery. It makes your inner state of well-being entirely conditional upon an external, future event that may or may not happen. It is a constant postponement of your own joy. The great secret of all conscious creators, of all masters of reality, is that they have reversed this formula. They understand the power of now, therefore. I am grateful now, therefore the promotion will come. I feel abundant now, therefore more money will flow to me. You must generate the feeling of your desired reality first. The feeling is the vibrational cause. The manifestation is the worldly effect. So, how do you do this? How do you feel grateful for abundance when you are looking at an empty bank account? How do you feel grateful for love when you feel lonely? This is the work. This is the practice. You start where you are, and you find something, anything, to genuinely appreciate. You withdraw your attention from the perceived lack, and you place it on the actual, present abundance, no matter how small. You don't have the money you want, but do you have a roof over your head? Do you have a single dollar in your pocket? Do you have a friend you could call? You find that seed of abundance, and you pour the warm, golden light of your grateful attention upon it. You feel the genuine feeling of appreciation for that $1, for that one friend. As you do, you begin to tune your vibration to the feeling of abundance and connection. You have just changed the channel, and by holding that new frequency, you become a magnet for more experiences that match it. The practice of gratitude must go deeper than a simple mental list. To say, I am grateful for my health, my family, my home, can become a robotic and empty exercise. To truly harness its creative power, you must move from a gratitude that you think to a gratitude that you feel and embody. Let us practice this together now. I invite you to bring your attention inward. Let go of the list in your head and drop into the feeling in your body. Let us begin with the miracle of your own body. Feel a wave of genuine gratitude for your heart, this tireless muscle that has been beating for you, keeping the rhythm of your life every second of every day since long before you were born, without you ever having to ask. Feel gratitude for your lungs, these incredible organs that draw in the very air of the cosmos, nourishing every one of your trillions of cells. Feel gratitude for your eyes that can perceive the beauty of a sunset, for your ears that can hear the music of a loved one's laughter. Feel gratitude for your hands that can create and comfort, and for your feet that have carried you on your long journey to this very moment. Do not just think these things, feel them. Allow the warmth, the awe, the profound appreciation to swell in your chest. Now, expand this feeling outward. Feel gratitude for the simple, often overlooked abundance that surrounds you. Feel the solid reality of the chair or the ground that is supporting you completely. Feel a wave of appreciation for the roof over your head, this shelter that keeps you safe and warm. Feel gratitude for the clean water you can drink, a luxury unknown to billions. Feel it for the food that nourishes you. See the chain of miracles that had to occur for that food to reach your table: the sun, the rain, the earth, the farmers, the drivers. Your life is built upon a foundation of staggering, almost incomprehensible abundance. As you focus on these things, locate the physical sensation of gratitude in your body. For many, it is a warmth, an opening, an expansion in the center of the chest. Once you find it, breathe into it. With each breath, imagine that feeling growing stronger, brighter. Imagine it is a golden sun in your heart, and with each exhalation, its light radiates outward, filling your entire body, from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, until every cell is vibrating with the frequency of gratitude. Now, radiate that golden light even further. Send it out to bless the people in your life, your home, your community, your country, the entire planet. Gratitude is not a passive state. It is an active, creative, and benevolent force that you can project into the world. This is the highest form of prayer. A prayer of petition says to the universe, "Please give me what I do not have." It comes from a place of lack. A prayer of gratitude says to the universe, "Thank you for all that I already have, and for all the good that is on its way to me." It comes from a place of unshakable faith and fullness. Which prayer do you think the universe, which operates on the law of resonance, responds to more powerfully? The most advanced practice of this art is to find gratitude even for your challenges. Can you, with deep sincerity, give thanks for the heartbreak that cracked your heart open and taught you the meaning of compassion? Can you feel gratitude for the failure that humbled you and pointed you in a new, more authentic direction? Can you appreciate the enemy who, through their reflection, showed you your own shadow and invited you into a deeper state of wholeness? This is not about enjoying pain. It is about having the wisdom to see the hidden gift in the wound. It is the ultimate alchemy, transforming the lead of your suffering into the gold of your evolution. To live in a constant state of gratitude is to live in a state of grace. It is to walk through the world in a state of perpetual wonder. It dissolves fear, it erases scarcity, and it aligns you perfectly with the creative forces of the universe. And as you walk this path of purpose, powered by the engine of gratitude, a final, beautiful realization dawns. You see that the complex spiritual search, the striving for enlightenment, the desperate quest for more, was never the point. The entire journey, through all its twists and turns, was always leading you back to a place of profound and exquisite simplicity. It was always leading you back home, to the gentle art of just being. You have walked the great inner path. You have journeyed through the echo chamber of the mind, stood as the silent watcher, and mapped the architecture of the ego. You have released the anchor of the past and dissolved the mirage of the future. You have learned the language of your emotional compass and the science of your own vibration. You have reclaimed the sacred currency of your attention and rested in the creative womb of silence. You have learned to hear the whisper of intuition, to practice the art of surrender, to dance with the law of karma. You have seen the world as your mirror, embraced your own shadow, remembered your inherent worth, and found the courage to live your authentic truth. You have discovered that your purpose is not a destination, but a frequency that is amplified by the magnificent power of gratitude. And now, having taken this long and winding journey, we arrive at the final destination, only to find that it looks, surprisingly, exactly like the place where we started. The spiritual path does not, as the ego hopes, lead to a state of superhuman complexity, a life filled with dramatic visions, supernatural powers, and an escape from all human challenges. That is another fantasy of becoming, another future to strive for. The true path, the authentic journey, does not lead to a more complicated state of being. It leads, inevitably and beautifully, back to a state of profound and exquisite simplicity. The entire journey has been a process of unlearning. It has been a systematic shedding of the layers of conditioning, the false beliefs, the heavy identities you have accumulated over a lifetime. You were not building yourself into something new. You were simply chipping away at the block of marble to reveal the masterpiece that was already, and always, perfect within. The goal was never to become enlightened. The goal was to cease doing all the things that were obscuring the light that you already are. The spiritual journey is not a line, but a circle. We begin our lives in a state of unconscious simplicity. This is the world of the small child. The child lives completely in the now. They are a being of pure presence, seeing the world with wide-eyed wonder, without the filter of judgment or analysis. Their joy is total, their sorrow is absolute, and both pass through them like weather. They are one with life, but they are not aware that they are one with life. Then, as the ego develops, we enter the long central phase of our lives, the phase of conscious complexity. This is the world of the thinking mind. We learn to name, to categorize, to analyze, to plan, and to worry. We become lost in the labyrinth of our own thoughts, trapped in the stories of our personal history. We feel separate, anxious, and incomplete. This feeling of separation is what sparks the great spiritual search. We read the books, we attend the seminars, we seek the gurus, all in a desperate attempt to fix the painful problem of me and find our way back to the peace we vaguely remember. This is the stage where most of humanity is currently living. But if you persist on the path, if you sincerely apply the inner work, you eventually emerge into the third and final stage, conscious simplicity. This is the return home. It has the presence and the wonder of the child's state, but now it is infused with the silent, spacious awareness of the sage. You have passed through the complexity of the mind and come out the other side. You have not destroyed the mind, you have simply ceased to be its servant and have made it your tool. You can look at a flower and, for a moment, let go of the mental label rose, and simply perceive its color, its texture, its fragrance with the same direct, unmediated awe as a child. But now, there is a new dimension. You are aware that you are aware. You are the knowing presence in which the wonder is unfolding. You have returned to the Garden of Eden, but this time you are fully awake. This is the simplicity that lies on the other side of complexity. It is not about having an empty mind, but about not being imprisoned by your mind. It is not about being free from life's challenges, but about meeting those challenges from a place of deep inner stillness and trust. Life in this state is no longer a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. The extraordinary is no longer sought in mountaintop experiences or dramatic events. It is discovered in the utterly ordinary. The miracle is found in the simple act of breathing. The divine is perceived in the taste of a glass of water. The sacred is felt in the warmth of the sun on your skin. Your entire life becomes a meditation, a continuous prayer of presence. And so, the journey comes to a close by revealing that the path itself was the destination. The purpose of all the seeking was to realize that there was nothing to find, only something to be. You already have all the tools you need. You are the watcher. You have the compass of your emotions. You have the mirror of the world. You have the power of your attention. You know the peace of surrender and the freedom of authenticity. You understand the creative force of gratitude. Your toolbox is full. There is nothing more you need to acquire. The work that remains is not to learn more, but to live more. To embody these truths not as intellectual concepts, but as your lived, breathing reality. To bring the simplicity of being into the complexity of your doing. To wash the dishes with the same presence as you would have in meditation. To listen to another person with the same spacious awareness as you would listen to the silence. To meet each moment, whether pleasant or unpleasant, with an open, allowing, and peaceful heart. There is nothing left to learn, nothing left to seek. The journey inward has led you back to where you always were. The search is over. So, take a deep breath. Feel the air, fill your lungs, the gift of life in this moment. Now, exhale slowly and let everything go. There is nowhere else to be. There is nothing else to do. There is nothing you need to become. Just rest here, in the simple truth of this moment, and listen to the echo of what you have always known. You have traveled a long way, through the inner landscapes of mind and soul, only to arrive where you have always been. The journey was not about finding something you lacked, but about remembering what you have always possessed. You began this journey feeling like a small boat, tossed on a stormy sea of thoughts and circumstances, desperately searching the dark horizon for a distant light, for a safe harbor, for a lighthouse that could guide you home. The great secret, the truth that has unfolded through our time together is this: you were never the boat, you have always been the lighthouse. The unshakable foundation you were seeking is the stillness of your own presence. The brilliant, unwavering light you were searching for is the beam of your own consciousness. The storms of thought, emotion, and life experience were never a threat to you. They were simply the weather passing by, observed from the safety of your own immutable shore. You are not the transient events of your life. You are the timeless space in which those events are allowed to happen. So let this be the truth that settles into the very ground of your being. Let it be the new mantra that replaces all the old stories of seeking and striving. When you feel lost, remember this. When the world feels loud, remember this. When the mind begins its frantic search once more, remember this. I am not the one searching for the light. I am the light. I am not the one looking for a safe harbor. I am the harbor. And now, the time for words is over. The voice that has guided you will fall away, so that you may listen to the only voice that truly matters, the deep, resonant silence of your own being. There is nowhere else to go. There is nothing left to do. There is no one you need to become. Everything you were ever looking for, you are it already. So just be here for a moment. Feel the weight of your body, held and supported. Notice the gentle, effortless rhythm of your breath. Listen to the quiet space in the room around you. This is peace. This is home. Rest now. You have arrived.